Hello everyone, I am not Vin, I'm Dan. Welcome to this free masterclass. How are you all doing? It is so awesome to see so many of you engaging in chat. I'm seeing chat kind of fly. We do have 4,500 people in here at the moment, with people still piling on in. Hey, so amazing to see you here. Just going to take 2 minutes to kind of run you through how things are all going to work before we bring on the person you're all waiting for. Now, before we kick things off, let me know, where is everybody tuning in from? Let me know in chat. Let's see. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. We have got peeps from everywhere in the world. Heaps of the US, heaps of Europe, all over Asia, a little bit in Japan. We've got Africa. I mean, we've got pretty much everyone, every continent. South America, we've got Australians going everywhere. Hey, that is so awesome. Loving the positive vibes in the chat. Everyone is so chill on a, well, Tuesday morning for us here in Australia. Hey, so brilliant to have you. Now, there is one main rule for this masterclass, and that is we're trying to keep things super positive, super light. So please, no spamming, no hate, no nasty comments in the chat. We're really all here to have a good time, and we do have a moderation team in place to just listen. There's not going to be any warnings, unfortunately. So if anyone's nasty in chat or spamming things, just know they're going to be removed immediately. So that's your first and your last warning. We really want to just preserve this space for all the people who are here to basically learn, okay? Now, if you've got any questions, feel free to post in the Q&A section. We will try to answer where we can. And of course, also, we want you to get the most out of this experience. So if you've got your distracted devices around, make sure you kind of put them aside, maybe put them on flight mode. If you've got kids running around, put them on flight mode as well. We do want you to get the most out of everything here. And hey, listen, we want you all to have fun and really hope this kickstarts your journey of unlocking your communication potential. Now, with all that being said and done, I'm a little bit biased here, but I have to say, Vin is the best communication coach out there right now in the world. And here's the thing, he is so good, and I'm not even making this up, he is so good that people always seem to think that this virtual masterclass, they all think it's pre-recorded. That's how polished he is. So you're all gonna have to help me a little bit here. What I'd love for you to do is in chat, I'd like you to post a word that you'd like Vin to say, just to prove to anyone who's doubting that this is completely live. It's Tuesday morning, it's the 26th of March here in Adelaide. Post in chat. Yeah, I can see people already sort of taking off with words. Okay, I'm trying to see. There's a whole bunch of funny words, don't mind me with that. Maybe that's not working. Okay, we're not going to try that. I've got a lot of stuff. I've got coconut, I've got verification. I'm going to let that go. Post it in chat once there's a bit of a consensus. Last time I think it was pineapple for some reason, but without any further ado, I'm going to throw over to himself. It's Vin. Have a great masterclass, everyone.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much, Dan. Thank you for helping me moderate. Hi, everyone. Good to see you all. Oh my goodness, people from all over the world. Wow, this is amazing. And I know we're trying to get that word that Vin's gonna say so that you all know I'm here and I'm present with you. So as I'm looking at this, someone just went, Vin! I love it, I just saw that. All right, so I'm gonna look for a word here. I'm seeing the word, I saw the word toothbrush. I saw potatoes, I saw Robocop, classic 90s. Couple more, I'm just gonna look at what the consensus is. A banana clearly was one of them. And we'll go with one last one, which will be Pokemon. I saw Pokemon. Favorite Pokemon? Hands down, Pikachu. Is there anything better? Not really. Raichu, not as cool. You should stay Pikachu. Good to see you all. Thank you so much for spending your Tuesday morning with me, and for some of you, your Monday evenings, for those of you in the US. So good to have you. You know, as we begin our time together, I just wanted to say a couple of things, all right? I just wanted to kind of meet you where you are. And the first thing I wanted to say is that if you have been struggling with your communication skills, and if you've been feeling like, oh, I feel like I'm a little bit invisible, people don't see me for the gifts and talents that I have inside. Oh, Vin, sometimes I struggle with self-confidence. Oh, Vin, I don't like the sound of my voice. I don't like how I sound. I don't like how I story tell. And if you're here also because you know communication skills are holding you back, you're aware of it, I just want you to know it's okay. It's okay. I got you, right? You're in the right place. There are many things in this life that I am not good at. Many things. We could do a 10-hour masterclass on me telling you the things I'm bad at. But there is one thing that I am good at. And the thing that I am good at is communication skills. So you're in the right place. I'm going to be able to help you amplify the best parts of who you are. Well done on being here. So many people never work on their skill set. I mean, they think about working on the skill set. They kind of go, I did a job interview, didn't do very well. I need to start working on my communication skills. And then they forget. Then they completely forget, and then they never go back to it. Well done on being here. You're working on one of the most important skills in this world. This is not a soft skill. This is an essential skill. It's a life skill. Now, thanks for the emojis and the thumbs up and everything coming up. I appreciate it. It makes it that much more fun for me. Now, here's the thing. As we begin, I'm going to bring you into my world immediately. And the world that I used to spend a lot of time in is the world of magic. That's right. I used to be a magician. And I want to bring you into the world of magic just for a moment, and then I'm going to explain something to you. And I promise it's going to make sense in your world too. But we're going to use the world of magic as a metaphor. When I was a magician in the world of magic, we were taught one thing, okay? We were taught that if we wanted to become successful, and if we wanted to achieve success, if we wanted success, well, if you want success, you've got to focus on one thing. And the very thing that you have to focus on is your technical SKE, which stands for technical skill, technical knowledge, and technical experience. And we'll fed this, that the more you focus on this, the more successful you're going to become. So guess what I did? I spent thousands of hours on my technical skill, my technical knowledge, and my technical experience. And I didn't get anywhere. And I couldn't understand why. However, I want this to be an experiential experience. So I'm going to show you what thousands of hours of technical skill looks like in the world of magic. And to do this, we're going to get all fancy now. We're going to switch cameras. So join me as we switch cameras to my close-up pad. So join me over here. Okay, so over here. And yes, it's still me. Hello. Hello. What we're going to do is I'm going to show you a demonstration of technical skills alone right now. Okay, so watch very closely. This is just technical skill. Obviously, 4 aces. And then there's a packet of cards here, and if we go through the whole packet of cards, all the cards are different, otherwise the trick would be crap. So watch, all the cards are different, 4 aces, and I'm gonna put the 4 aces in 4 different places. Watch very closely. There's the first one, there's the second one, there's the third, and there's the fourth. 4 aces, 4 places, squeeze them in. If you were here, I'd let you shuffle them, but because you're not, I'll shuffle them on your behalf. So watch carefully. You're watching my hands the entire time, right? I'm doing this so fairly that I can't do it any more fairly. Now, one of the most technically challenging pieces of sleight of hand now is we'll find all the aces without looking at the cards. So this is a demonstration of technical skills alone. Here we go. In 3, 2, 1. You see, this took thousands of hours to learn. It was actually quite sad, really, as I moved back to the other camera. You see, the thing is, I spent thousands of hours learning this sleight of hand, right? And I used to sit in my room by myself doing the magic in front of the mirror and going, damn it, you're amazing, Vinh. Damn it, you're good. But nobody else thought I was good. Nobody else kind of gave me any accolades. I couldn't understand why. And I couldn't understand for the life of me, as I got better and better at magic technically, how come I didn't have a full-blown career in the world of magic? How come people didn't book me for magic gigs? How come I didn't get these opportunities? Why? It was frustrating. And then I realized that actually, well, technical skill was not the only ingredient that I needed. I had a missing ingredient, and the missing ingredient was what in the world of magic we call showmanship. Showmanship. And just, terrible handwriting. Should have been a doctor. My mum would have been so proud. But you see, showmanship is just a fancy word for communication skills. That's all that it is. It's a fancy word magicians and people in theatre use for communication skills. That's the ingredient that I was missing. I used to perform magic all silently and with nothing, and people used to go, oh, Cool. And that was it, right? That was it. And that was the missing ingredient. Now, if you think about this, really think about this now. This is where it connects to your world. Think about what you do professionally. Think about what you do in your life. Let's say, for example, technically, you are a 10 out of 10. You are fantastic at what you do technically, right? Now just imagine your communication skills, however, are a 3 out of 10. So in this situation, do you think people perceive you to be a 10 out of 10 or a 3 out of 10? And the reality is you're only as good as you can communicate. That's the reality of the situation. That's why we're here. We're here so that we can learn communication skills, so we can amplify the best parts of who we are. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a demonstration now. This time the demonstration is technical skills combined with showmanship. We are going to add them together, and then I want you to experience the difference. Right? That's how we're going to learn. So let's jump back to the close-up pad. Getting fancy again. Jump over here. As we are jumping over Pikachu, we are live on the 26th of March. Okay, thank you for the note, Dan. Thank you very much indeed. All right, here we go. These are the 4 races. And oh, it's funny. It's funny, Dan. I love this. Okay, so this is the game. I'm going to get this completely out of the way. This is technical skills combined with showmanship. 2 things paired together. Watch. This game is called 3-Card Monty. 3-Card Monty. Don't take your eyes off this. This is the 5 of hearts. Your job is to watch the 5 of hearts, not the joker. Okay, not the joker, because I'm going to take out 2 jokers, and now there are 2 jokers and a 5. Do keep your eyes on the 5. Don't take your eyes off it. As I show you the 5 here, the first one's going to be really easy. If I take the 5 and I leave the 5 on the table, then what card is in my hand here? Type J for joker and 5 for 5. Let me have a look at the chat. What do you? Yes, everyone's like, that's the joker. Well done, well done. First one's easy. No, it's not. It's actually the 5. It's actually the 5 because the joker's on the table. You need to get closer to your screen. Watch more closely. Obviously, don't touch the screen, but come closer. But here's the interesting thing. I'm going to do this again, except I'll do it in slow motion. So watch this in slow motion. In slow motion, I'll give you the joker to start with. But watch the 5. I go 1, 2, 3, and watch the 5. Don't take your eyes off the 5. And when you're watching the 5, what card is this? Have a guess in the chat, please. I'm going to look at the chat. What card is this? Yes, good joker. Go. Sorry, did you miss it again? Because the joker's over here. That's actually the 5. You have to watch really closely. I told you. Now I'm going to take the 5. I'm going to put it in my pocket. Out of sight, out of mind, they call this. So the 5 goes out of sight, out of mind. It is no longer in the screenshot. Right here, we've got 2 jokers. Sorry, we've got the first joker. We've got the second joker. What if I told you now? Think about this. What if I told you in a moment, I'm going to go to my pocket. I'm going to palm the 5. Now be honest in the chat. Y for yes and N for no. Can you see the 5 in my palm here? Can any of you see it? Y for yes and N for no? Nope, lots of N's. Good. Because it's not there. But in a moment, I'm going to go for the 5 and I'm going to switch the 5 for one of the jokers and the jokers for one of the 5s. Now, if I can do this without any of you seeing, would you be impressed? Type Y for yes and N for no. I'm having a look at the chat over here. Yes, thank you. And because you said yes, then I'm going to do it. So right now, you don't know what to watch, do you? Do you watch the hand with the watch? That's my left hand, which is your right, because Zoom kind of reverses things. Or do you watch my right hand? And my right hand is your left, obviously. Or do you try to get a glimpse of my pocket here? Do you try to look at everything all at the same time? Well, it's impossible because it's already done. Did you notice that happen? Because in my 5 is the joker. Now, this is a psychological game. You have to understand it's not just a game of sleight of hand. It's a game that is psychologically manipulative. It's here to distract you visually and psychologically. Because in this game, they always go, oh, look, it's fine, Jason. Jason, I'll let you win 1 game. Do you know why they let you win 1 game? Well, it builds your confidence and then you bet more money, right? But do you really think I want you to win? The answer is no. Because you weren't watching closely enough, were you? Because the 5 wasn't here. The 5 is back in my pocket. You see, I have 4 cards. It's how I cheat. Now, I'm only going to do this move once. Don't take your eyes off this. I'm not going to do it twice. Watch it once. 1, I have no sleeves. 2, I'm even going to show you the joker. And then I'm going to take this joker, I'm going to put it in my pocket. So think about this. Think about what's psychologically going on right now. The $1 million question is, what card do you think is on the table? What card do you think is here? Have a guess. Have a guess. Good. Everyone thinks it's the joker. Well done. You're getting the hang of it. Well done. Well done. But this is where I use reverse psychology. If you jump 1 step ahead, I jump 2 steps ahead. Now, here's the thing. If I wanted you to win, I would always give you the 5. Okay, I'll give you the 5 if I wanted you to win. Let's say the card I leave on the table is the card for you. I mean, do you really think I want you to win at this point? You're thinking, no, Vin, you're a bloody monster. The thing is, I do want you to win. I mean, when you really think about it, how is it possible? How is it possible for you to lose now that you have a magician as your friend? How is it possible for you to lose? Because they're all 5s. I mean, the first one's a 5, the second one's a 5, the third one's a 5. There were 3 5s. There was only 1 joker. Moral of the story is, yeah, don't gamble with me. I just saw someone said my brain hurts. Good, I'm glad. It means you're learning. You see, do we need to debate which was the superior experience? Which was the better experience? Was the better experience just technical skills alone? Or was the better experience when you take technical skills and then you combine it with great communication skills? Do we need to debate? And thank you for the brain swelling comment there. But do we need to debate this? No, we don't. We don't need to debate this. But you see, in the world that we live in, people want simplistic answers. And people say things like, we should only focus on this or that, Vin. Which one should we choose? Is it A or is it B? And the answer is not which one. The answer is both. And just because I teach communication skills, please do not think that I do not value technical abilities. No. Don't be fooled by the fact that I teach communication skills, because I absolutely value technical ability. They are both important. And as you become great technically, as you improve your communication skills, it changes your quality of life, because this is the skill we use to engage with the world. This is the tool we use to engage with those we love. This is the tool we use to engage with our communities. This is the tool we use to engage online. This skill has transformed my life. And I'll tell you how it's transformed my life. And I think these pieces of information are really important, because I think before you learn from anybody, you need to make sure that they are good at the very skill they're teaching, right? And over the last 2 years, this is something that I've been able to achieve. And let me show you what I've been able to achieve. Here, let me show you. You see, 2 years ago, I started my YouTube channel from scratch, and within less than 2 years, we've grown it to 1.4 million, almost at 1.5 million subscribers. With my Instagram, I had about 10,000 followers, and what I've been able to do is we've been able to grow it now to 3.6 million followers. TikTok, we've grown it from scratch to 1.8 million, Facebook, 1.7 million, and I've got a mailing list now with over 1.2 million people from all over the world. Now, if you think about this, how have I been able to do this? How? The way that I've been able to do this is I've been able to do it with my communication ability. For the longest time, I believed that I did have talents. For the longest times, I believed that I did have gifts, but people weren't able to see it because I wasn't able to show it. Now, forget about me for a second. Just kind of push me out of the scene. And as you push me out of the scene, I want you to think about the influences that you follow, the people you subscribe to on YouTube, the people you subscribe to on Instagram or TikTok. Think about all the people you keep going back to watch again and again and again and again. Why do you go back to their content? What keeps you going back? It's their ability to communicate to you. They're great communicators. And guess what happens when you're able to communicate effectively? You're able to form a connection with other people. And we live in a world now where if you're able to create connection via video, you can build connections with people at scale, let alone all the benefits that you have in your own life as you improve this skill set. Because before I started improving my communication skills journey, and I've got to tell you this, before I started this journey, I didn't realize how a lack of communication skills was impacting my life. I didn't realize that by not being able to communicate, the career progression, I didn't have any. Didn't get any promotions, always got looked down on when it came to job interviews, always got the, yeah, we'll call you back and let you know what we think. Never called me back. And then as a result of this, I wasn't able to, again, I was a full-blown magician. I wanted to turn my magician career into a full-blown hobby, passion, profession. Never happened for me because I wasn't able to communicate my value. And the most frustrating thing, down to the simplest things in my life, by not being able to communicate effectively, even when friends want to pick a restaurant, right? And there's a restaurant that I really want to eat at. Because I didn't have the guts to stand up and didn't communicate effectively with authority, we would always eat at the damn restaurants my friends wanted to, and I could never just even say the one I wanted to go to. You know what the worst one of all was for me? Is that I wasn't able to communicate my value as a man. For the longest time growing up, my biggest pain was that I wanted to find love. I wanted to find a girlfriend. And for the longest time, I didn't find love because I wasn't able to articulate the value that I had inside as a man. You keep going on dates, they never call you back, they never text you back. It's because I didn't know how to communicate effectively, to form true and deep connections. A lack of communication cost me so much in my life. I was just completely blind to it, just completely blind to it. And this is where I turn things over to you, because I want you to lean in. And I have a question for you. And the question that I have for you is, and I'm going to pause and start looking at some of the replies here as well. And Dan, can we pop some of the replies up on screen as well after? Here's the question for you. How has a lack of communication skills affected you in your life? I'll put it on screen. How has a lack of communication skills impacted you in your life? We go on here. Morale and self-confidence, bad grades, isolation, feeling lonely. We've also got here personal relationships, Vin. I feel like a lot of my personal relationships are impacted. Here, discrimination. We've got here missing out on job opportunities, time and time and time again. And as you look at the chat kind of fly by and you're seeing all of this, right? Isn't this crazy? These are all the different costs when we're not able to communicate effectively. And often all of these costs are invisible to us. It's invisible to you. It's invisible to us. It's like you don't know what you don't know, right? And then when you start looking at some of these comments that are flying by, you start to go, yeah, crap, I totally get it. Yeah, self-confidence. Not being able to communicate effectively means sometimes I'm not as confident as I can be. I just saw someone say, I don't have financial abundance because I'm not able to use my communication skills to be able to effectively portray the value that I have in my industry. Misalignment, losing out on opportunities. All right. Thank you for leaning in. Thank you for being vulnerable. I've got another question for you. And this again is us leaning into vulnerability a little more. And my question for you is this. How many years have you allowed this to go on for? How many years? Some people are saying, too many, Vin. Don't ask me this question. But look in the chat. I want you all to look in the chat right now. You know, first when you look at it, you see some people write 5, 4 years, 3 years. But as you start to look a little bit closer in the chat, do you notice how we're starting to see some double-digit numbers now? Do you notice how you start to see 10 years, 15 years? Just saw 27 years fly by. Just saw 33. Just saw someone say half my life. Just saw someone say 40 years. Isn't this crazy? We've been paying this cost for the last 20, 30, 40 years, but sometimes we're not even aware of it. The reason I run these classes, part of the reason is to wake us up. We need to be woken up from this. We need to start realizing the true cost of not being able to communicate effectively. And we need to make a decision to say, okay, that's it. All right, that's it. No more. I'm not going to allow this to cost me any more opportunities, any more new friendships, any more job opportunities, any more financial abundance, any more deeper connections with the people I care about. That's it. It's okay. We look back onto the past. We recognize it for what it is. We accept the truth, and then now we can move forward. So thank you for leaning into the vulnerability, but we're not staying in that Sadville. We're moving on. We're visiting Sadville for a moment to recognize the truth of what's been going on. Now we're moving on from Sadville. Now, as we are about to begin, I just want to say a couple of things so you understand what's going to happen during our masterclass together. The first thing that I want you to know is we are going to give every single person who's currently here live with us at the end. If you're still here by the end of this session together, everyone's going to get a copy of my self-awareness assessment. Now, the self-awareness assessment is a 5-step process that helps you become a better communicator. Now, this is worth not about $100. I usually only give it to my students who come to my in-person workshops, but everyone who's here is going to get a copy. So don't worry, everyone who stays here right to the end, you're all getting a copy, and thank you for all the thank yous. It's absolutely my pleasure. I am more than happy to gift you all this and have you begin your communication skills journey, all right? Next, what we're also going to do, Dan and I, here at All Things Vinh Giang and All Things Stage, we really believe in abundance. And what we're going to do is we're going to pick at the end of our class as well, 3 lucky winners to win a free copy of my online course. So I've got an online course teaching communication skills. It's called the Stage Academy. We're going to pick 3 people to win this randomly. So please don't spam the chat with, oh, pick me. Dan's going to pick people at random, and that's going to happen right at the end of our time together. Thanks for all the emojis in the heart. We genuinely believe in love and abundance, kindness and compassion. So we will be picking 3 lucky winners there too. Let's begin. You know, I always begin every single thing I do in public with this particular story, and I'll tell you why after I tell it. Let me just move this chair slightly, it's a little bit weird. But you see, for those of you who don't know me and you're new to my content, about over 15 years ago now, I was in university and I was studying accounting. Yay! Fulfilling the Asian prophecy, of course. It's an accountant, lawyer, or it's a doctor, right? So I was becoming an accountant and I studied at the University of Adelaide. And it's a 5-year degree. It's a 5-year degree for commerce and law to become an accountant. 4.5 years into the 5-year degree, 4.5 years, there was 6 months to go in the degree, I came home and I had the following conversation with my parents. So just imagine you were there. 6 months to go in the degree, I come home and I say, Mom, Dad, I love you. It's taken me all my life to build the confidence to tell you this. I'd like to quit university. My mum immediately starts crying. It's impossible to cry that fast. But my mum knew that if she cries, my dad gets pissed off. So pretty much on cue, my dad, he rolls up his sleeves, he walks up towards me, and you know what my dad does? My dad does this, he goes. For those of you who don't know what that means, that's what Bruce Lee does before he kicks your ass. So I recognize the signs of danger, and I say, Dad, no, Dad, wait, Dad, wait. Dad, there's 2 things I have to tell you. Dad, the first thing is, I've already quit university. And I thought I'd just quit and then apologize. And Dad, the second thing is, get ready for this, Dad, this is exciting. Dad, the second thing is, Dad, I'd like you to give me $100,000 so I can build a business on the internet to teach magic tricks. Yeah, my dad did not take that well. No, he didn't. You have to understand. Let's make sure we're on the same page here for a second. I've just told a 60-year-old Vietnamese man who's been through the war, who's on a boat for months, on a refugee island for 2 years. I just told that man I wanted to be Harry Potter. Okay, I just told him I wanted to be Harry Potter. So my dad was pissed. So he was super pissed. So you know what he did? He looked to my mum for instructions now because my dad's confused. So he looks to my mum for instructions. She's now crying for real. My dad kind of just walks away from me slowly, really weirdly. And then he walks over to my mum, grabs her by the arm, and then they both walk into the kitchen. And then I'm thinking, well, what the hell was that? Why are they going into the... Knives are in the kitchen. So then I start to panic. And at this point, I'm freaking out. I'm thinking, why are my Vietnamese parents whispering? When Vietnamese parents whisper, it's bloody dangerous. So I'm getting scared now. My imagination starts to go wild. I'm thinking, what are they saying in there? What are they saying? This is what I'm imagining they're saying. So my dad's most likely saying something like this to my mum. This is what he's most likely saying. Something like this. He goes, okay, baby. Okay, don't worry, honey. Okay, don't cry, baby. Don't cry. Okay, honey, tonight. Okay, baby. We kill this boy tonight. Okay, honey, don't be the scare. Okay, don't let him scare you. Okay, baby, don't worry about that boy. We kill him tonight. And tonight, baby, me and you, okay, baby, we fix the problem. Okay, tonight, me and you, we make another one. Don't worry, baby. It's not even a joke. My mum and dad then had my brother. My brother was then born as a result, I believe, of this incident. My brother and I are over a decade apart, and they probably had me and went, oh crap, we totally stuffed this up, let's make another one. And they did. So absolute true story, my brother and I, over a decade apart, and they had another one. Whether they said that or not, I'm pretty sure they did. But then they gradually come out of the kitchen about 15 minutes later. Those 15 minutes felt like forever, and I genuinely have a brother, and we're over 12 years apart. But the thing is, they gradually come out of the kitchen, and they say something I don't expect. Okay, very difficult to surprise someone who's part magician, mind you. But they do. You just have to know too, my dad, he's the oldest brother in the family. He was the one that made the decision to flee Vietnam. During the war, he decided to leave everything behind to try to find a new home for his unborn children. He's a pretty cool guy. So my dad comes out with my mum. They both come out. My dad, my mum, they both come out. And my dad says to me, he goes, boy, I didn't risk my life. I didn't risk the lives of all your uncles and all your aunties. I didn't risk everybody's life in the Giang family, especially your mum and your grandparents, to try to find freedom, to then force you to do something you don't want to do. If it's magic, it's okay. You know, one of the most beautiful words he said then followed. He said, son, in this life though, you owe me one thing, boy. You owe me one thing. You have to jump as high as you can in this life. And as long as I'm alive, I'll forever be your net. You know, I always begin with a story because I know for a fact I would have never achieved the things I've achieved in my life if it wasn't for the sacrifices my mum and dad have made and those before them. I would not have become the man that I am. Heck, I wouldn't even exist. And I know the same is true for you too as we begin our class and our time together. You would not be who you are, you would not be where you are if it wasn't for the sacrifices your families have made, whether it's the families we choose or whether it's the families we were born into. So before we begin, can we just hashtag family in the chat to share love for all of our families across the world, no matter where they are? Let's hashtag family. Oh, I'm loving seeing the hashtag families. I just want to show you a quick picture of my parents. That's my mum and my dad there. They got lots more gray hairs now because of the stress I've caused them. And oh, you know what? It just absolutely just warms my heart seeing all the hashtag families come through. You know, I think it's so important for us to recognize the people who have helped us become the people that we are. And for so many of us, that's our families. So much love to all families all around the world for helping us become the people that we are. Now, as we begin, many of you don't know this about me. Haha, you don't know this about me. You don't. And the thing you don't know about me is that I'm actually a professional speaker. I'm what they call a keynote speaker. So for part of the year, I do travel around the world doing professional speeches. And one of the reasons why I am a professional speaker is because I've been working on this communication skill thing forever. And I had a goal. I said, before I actually teach this craft, I want to climb the Mount Everest of this particular industry. And one of the Mount Everests is the keynote speaking Everest. And I do this to keep my skills sharp. But when I started this journey as a professional speaker, let me show you the first contract I ever got. This is crazy. This is the first contract. This is when I first started speaking. And this was back in 2013. And when I first started speaking, my client said to me, and this shocked the hell out of me, they said, Vin, we want you to speak for an hour and we'll pay you $400. I was like, what? You pay me $400 an hour? At this point in my life, the maximum I made per hour was about $15, $20. So I was like, you pay me $400? Can I do it twice? And they're like, no, Vin, we just want you to do it once. So I was like, oh, this is amazing. Yes, of course I'll do it. Yes. And it blew my mind. I was like, what the hell? That was in 2013. Let me fast forward to just last year. This is one of the contracts I just got last year. I was paid over $100,000 USD to speak for an hour. And I remember when I got this, I started feeling imposter syndrome. I started feeling like, oh my goodness, they're going to find out I don't have a degree. They're going to find out I quit 6 months ago. They're going to find out my brother's smarter than me. They're going to find out my wife's a pharmacist and she's more credible than me. So I started freaking out. They're going to write a new headline on the Australian article, Vinh, Giang, fraudster, no degree, shouldn't be paid this amount. And I just freaked out, right? Imposter syndrome just consumed me. And I'm so grateful to be able to call Mel a friend. And some of you may know Mel Robbins, and I know many of you even love Mel. But I remember going to Mel and asking her to Mel. I said, Mel, help me! They're gonna turn me into a fraud. What do I do? What do I do? And then Mel said, oh, shut up, honey. Just calm down. You're being ridiculous. And then she says the most profound thing. She goes, first of all, there are many other speakers that get paid way more money than this, so just get over yourself, okay? And then the second thing is, let me reframe it for you. Do you know why speakers get paid this amount of money? Do you know why? It's because the ability to influence, the ability to inspire, the ability to communicate effectively is the world's most highly valuable, the most highly valued skill set. The ability to communicate, influence, and inspire, it's the world's most highly valued and most highly paid skill set. Now, listen, I'm not saying this so all of you become keynote speakers because quite frankly, I do not need the competition. But rather, I'm saying this because what we're about to do now is we're about to learn one of the most highly valued skill sets. We're about to deep dive into one of the most highly paid skill sets. And just imagine for a second, imagine taking the most highly valued skill set and injecting it into your life personally, and then injecting it into your life professionally. Just imagine for a second what that's going to do for you. This is one of the most powerful skill sets. It's not a soft skill, as many people call it. It is an essential skill. And unfortunately, the education system has failed us, because where do we learn this skill? But then all of a sudden, when you get thrown into the workforce, you're expected to be a great communicator. You ready? We're about to deep dive into this. Now, What I want you to do is this. I want you to grab your pens, grab your pads, grab your notes. Let's get ready. What we're going to learn now is we're going to learn the 3 universal laws when it comes to communication skills. And when people don't learn these skills, I can tell you right now, nothing changes with their communication. Have you ever noticed how people change their fashion sense? People change their hair, people change their glasses, they change their shoes, but they never change the way they sound. Most people sound the same for their entire lives. And one of the reasons why they sound the same for their entire lives is because they don't understand the 3 universal laws. Not understanding these 3 universal laws we're about to learn keeps you the same. Universal laws. Number 1. Now, the first universal law, this was taught to me by my vocal teacher. Now listen, I didn't go to vocal classes because I wanted to become a singer. I went to vocal classes to study the human voice, to understand how to use the voice as an instrument. And my vocal teacher taught me this lesson, and she calls it 88 keys. Now, this is beautiful. This is such a beautiful lesson. Because 88 keys is obviously a metaphor. It's referring to the keys on the piano. And I'll never forget this moment. The first time I met her, it was like this, okay? So this is how I first met her. So when I walked into the music class, right, into the music room, it was a tiny little room with a piano there. And she was just sitting by the piano, just kind of sitting there. I knocked on the door. She didn't even look at me. She just kind of says, all she says is, she goes, come in. So I walked into the room. I sat down. And do you know what she did? She just started playing one key on the piano. It was just one key, one key, one key. One key. And I was sitting back here, I was like, oh my God, this is freaky. This is like one of those horror movies and her head will just turn around and spit blood. So I just started freaking out. And then she did this for like a good 2 minutes. She turns around and she goes, how do you feel, young man? And I was quite honest and I kind of said, I'm a little bit scared, a little bit freaked out, but besides from that, nothing really. That was really weird. And then she goes, good, good. And then she plays this beautiful song after that called Romance. It was like a 3.5 minute piece. It was so beautiful. While I was listening to it, I forgot about being scared just moments ago. And I just really got into this song that she was playing. And then as she finished with it, she turns around and she goes, how do you feel, young man? I said, I actually feel like a little bit lustful. I feel like this is a really intense love scene and people are passionately falling in love. And then she just says to me, good. And then when she turns around now, finally looking at me, she says the most profound thing. She goes, honey, most people in life go through their entire lives speaking like this. I'm going to teach you how to speak like this. And I genuinely thought, take my money. I don't care what you cost. That was the greatest sales pitch I've ever heard in my life. I'm in twice. Can I come twice a week? This was amazing. It was so beautiful because she taught me that my voice is an instrument. So many of us look at our voice and we think of it as a tool. And do you know what happens when you think of it as a tool? When you think of it as a tool, you don't play with a tool, you use a tool, right? Do you play with a drill? No, you use a drill. So when you think of your voice as a tool, this is what happens. I was going through my entire life and I was just using my voice. And you might think of this as hyperbole, but this is genuinely how I used to speak. How do I remember? Well, because I spoke like this for about 20 years of my life. So these behaviors are very familiar to me still. I can go back into that mode anytime I want. And I didn't realize that I had access to this beautiful instrument. And that's when she taught me 88 keys. And she goes, Vin, no, this is an instrument. We don't use the guitar, we don't use the piano, we play the guitar, we play the piano. You need to play with your voice. You need to explore all of the different notes your voice can make. Now that I've been teaching communication skills for more than 10 years, do you know what I've started to realize? And this is a very important lesson you need to learn within 88 keys. When I push my students to play with their voice, and I start to get them to, do things like this and not be afraid to go there. And then I get them to, really play with the range they have. The moment I get them to do things like that, high or low, they kind of go up, stop right there. That is inauthentic. That is fake and it's phony. That's not me. And do you know what happens the moment, as you're exploring your voice, the moment you think it's inauthentic, the moment you think it's fake and it's phony, do you know what happens? You stop exploring your instrument. You just stop. You just go, okay, I'm not going to explore anymore because it's fake and phony. This is why most people sound the same for their entire lives. So what happens now is you must pass this block, and if you do not pass this block, nothing changes. So the next time you play with your voice, the next time you're like, I'm just going to give this a little bit of a go. The next time it feels strange and it doesn't feel right, don't think fake and phony. The moment that comes into your brain, you must immediately reframe it. and you think to yourself in that moment when you go, oh, fake and phony, not real, inauthentic, reframe it and think, oh, right. These keys are just really familiar to me. These keys over here, they're just unfamiliar. And the moment you reframe it to unfamiliar, what happens? You continue to explore all the beautiful keys in your voice. And you become someone in life that speaks like this, as opposed to someone in life like me before that just spoke like this and wondered why anytime I voice my ideas, people don't hear it. Anytime I say something, people just ignore it. How come I seemed invisible? How come I didn't get picked for certain jobs when I'm really actually passionate about it? It's because people couldn't see nor hear my passion. Do you see the power of 88 keys? That is the power, and you have to remember, the moment you explore and something feels weird, immediately just in your brain, just think, oh, I'm going to keep exploring because it's not fake and phony. Because if you can make the sound, how is it fake? How is it fake if it's keys on your instrument? Just think unfamiliar. You continue to explore this beautiful instrument of yours. Without fixing this first reframe, 99% of people sound the same their entire lives. What a shame to go through this entire life and never realizing the beauty of the instrument that you have access to. Number two. Now, number two, this one at face value, you'll hear it and you'll be like, oh God, that's so basic. Oh, it's so simple, Vin. No, it's not. We're going to go real deep with it. And before we go deep with it and go down that rabbit hole, I need to take a sip of water. Getting a little bit too passionate. All right. Thank you, Paul. I just saw in the chat where Paul said, not basic at all, Vin. This is actually enlightening. Thank you, Paul. Appreciate you, mate. Now, the next one, remember, it's going to sound a little trite, and then we're going to go deep with it. Only practice leads to improvement. Only practice will actually lead to improvement. I'll explain. There are many areas of study where, for example, like mathematics, if you study mathematics, a cerebral understanding of mathematics is often all we need to be able to utilize it in our everyday lives, right? Okay, so I cognitively understand 2 + 2 = 4. Cool, all right. Next time I'm at the grocery store, 2 + 2, 4. Cool, I can use it, it's good. But then there are other skills in life that a cerebral understanding is not enough. For example, swimming. You could read 20 books on swimming, but if you've never been in the water, you don't know how to swim. I'm sorry, right? Communication, same thing. You could read 20 books on communication, you can listen to 50 podcasts on communication, you can watch 20 short videos on communication, doesn't matter. If you've never actually practiced the darn thing, nothing changes. Why? Well, this question I get on social media all the time. People say, Vin, question. Is it possible for me to change the way I sound? Is it, Vin? And I like to be a little bit cheeky on social media, and I always answer a question with a question. And I say, is it possible for you to change your behavior? And they say, well, duh, yes, you can. I'm like, oh, well, then you can change the way you sound. Because the way you sound, and this was a profound moment for me, and I hope it is for you too. The way you sound right now is just a series of behaviors that you unconsciously make all your life. It is. Because the way you sound right now is based on how you direct airflow. It's based on how you shape and move your tongue. It's based on how you shape and move your lips. And depending on how you use the articulators in your face, in your mouth, and depending on how you direct that airflow, you can change the way you sound. Like, for example, when you heard me say before, like the story with my dad, I did my dad's voice, right? So I'll bring Dad back for a second. What the hell? You want to be the Harry Potter? No, you're the bad boy. I just changed the way I moved the airflow. I changed the way I moved my lips. I changed the way I moved my facial expressions. It changed the sound that came out. Again, just been watching Batman again lately, and if I just, again, change the way I move my mouth again, I can play a really evil character from Batman. I can be like, guess in the chat if you know who this character is. This has got to be terrible, but again, just to prove a point, changing behaviors. Here we go. Batman? You think you were born in the shadows. You merely rented the shadows. I was born in the darkness. I live in the darkness, Batman. I could sound like that for the rest of my life, okay? I could sound like that for the rest of my life. These are choices that I could make. Then my wife will leave me, my son will be scared of me, Dan will no longer work for me, and I'll live a life like Gollum, all by myself, alone. That is me choosing a series of behaviors that changes the way I sound. Like, do I need to prove it to you anymore? Right? I could pretend I'm from Texas if I want to. I could pretend I was a cowboy all my life, right? I could pretend I was born in Austin. I could all of a sudden be a terrible Texan, and I always wanted to be a cowboy. I don't have to prove to anymore. Whereas here's the thing. Most people don't realize that the way they sound, it's just a series of behaviors. Now, the way you currently sound, there are unconscious behaviors that you've been constantly repeating. And then you feel stuck. You feel stuck sounding the way you sound because you've just been displaying the same habit for the last 20 years. So then you fool yourself into thinking, you think, oh, this is me. Oh, I can't change any of this. This is permanent. No, it's not. It's not permanent. This is your own damn brain tricking you. You can change the way you sound easily by practicing. This was one of the greatest unlocks of my life because growing up, English was my third language. I first learned Di Jiu, Aussie Di Jiu Nang. Then I learnt Vietnamese fluently. Vinh là người Việt Nam, tôi là Vinh San ở nước Úc. Then I learnt English. I wasn't until 8 or 9 before I started to really grasp the language. I truly understand now that I can completely change how I sound and it will completely change how others perceive me. You are not stuck sounding the way you are. You are not stuck the way you are. Do you know what's stuck? A tree. You're not a tree. If you don't like where you are, you can move. Poor trees. Isn't that sad? Now, that's the second massive unlock that truly shifted my thinking. Because for the longest time, I felt stuck. For the longest time, I was like, oh, I'm stuck with this. I'm never going to change. Nothing's ever going to change with my life. But now again, not a tree. Hashtag not a tree. Number 3. This is a very powerful lesson, number 3. The third universal law that I'm sharing with you here, and before I go into the third actually, if you think of the way you speak right now as just being a set of behaviors, then I want this quote to pierce through to your soul, okay? I know it's very deep for a Tuesday, but please just go deep with me for a moment. I just want this quote to truly pierce through to you. Go through all the way the internet, all the cables, all the way across the other world. I want this to hit you. And the quote is this. Don't be so attached to who you are in the present that you don't give the future version of you a chance. I'm just going to say it again. Don't be so attached to who you are in the present that you don't give the future version of you a chance. There is a future you that communicates differently. My goodness, don't just be so romantically attached to a set of behaviors, especially if they're costing you job opportunities, relationships, depth. If you have already acknowledged that these set of behaviors are not serving you, don't be so attached to them. It's not you. It's not you. It's just a series of mouth movements. That's all that it is. So don't be so attached to the present version of you. Give the future version of you a chance. That's the future version of you I'm fighting for as I'm teaching you this masterclass. That future version of you is possible, but it requires the present version of you to do something about it. And you already are, just by being here. Well done. I'm proud of you. Number 3. Write it a bit lower, Vinh. Number 3 is the golden rule in communication. The golden rule. Now, listen, it's not the treat others the way you want to be treated. No. That's the golden rule in life. This is the golden rule in the world of communication. Now, I get questions like this thousands of times a day because of our social media, right? We've got more than 10 million people across all platforms now. And it's crazy because I see these comments every day. And it's comments like this. Hey, Vinh, when I talk really fast. Is that a problem, Vinh? Or some people say, oh, Vinh, when I talk, I have my hands in my pockets and I talk really fast as well. Is that a problem, Vinh? Or some people say, oh, Vinh, I have my hand behind my back and when I talk, I kind of rock back and forward. Vinh, is that a problem? Vinh, is that a problem? Vinh, when I talk, I walk a lot. Like I walk a lot and I move around a lot. Vinh, is that a problem? People always have questions like this. And do you know how powerful the golden rule I'm about to share with you is? The golden rule is a rule that can answer every single one of those questions. And when I learned this, it profoundly changed my communication ability. Write this down and put a star next to it, highlight it, underline it, do everything you can to really highlight this point. Here's the golden rule. I'm going to give it to you. If it distracts people from the message, it's a problem. If it distracts people from the message, it's a problem. And you see, I'm going to give you all an opportunity right now I'm going to give you all an opportunity to apply the knowledge you're learning. Do you see the problem with the world I find that we're in right now is everybody is obsessed with learning more, learning more, learning more. I want to continually acquire new knowledge. I want to continually acquire new knowledge. And then even though people are learning more than they ever have before in history, people feel stuck more than they ever have before in history. Why are people feeling stuck if we've got access to more information? Simple. Simple. Because in your brains right now, you keep thinking, another podcast, another podcast, another video, another video, another video. Knowledge acquisition doesn't do anything for you, really. The quote, knowledge is power, is completely flawed because it's missing one word. Applied knowledge is power. Until you practice the very thing you do, you're just a library. You're just a library of information. So I'm going to give you all an opportunity to practice the golden rule. Because when you learn with me, one of the most important things I teach you is to not fall victim to analysis paralysis. When you learn with me, I just teach you one thing, we immediately practice it. We immediately give it a go. So I'm going to immediately get you to apply the golden rule. So I'm going to play you a video of one of my students, and I'm going to give you a go at applying the knowledge. And watch how this system upgrade to your brain has already worked. Watch this video and see if you can identify for me with my student here, Stuart, what's distracting you from the message as you're watching this. Have a look at this. Here we go.
So, me, the youngest student in the class by about a year and a half, and he looked out at the class and said, "Now, why do you guys think it was important that the signers of the Declaration addressed it to the king?" Reason I'm telling you all this is that it wound up being 4 years later. Became jack of all trades, master of two.
Interesting. Notice how you're all starting to see the invisible. Most of the times when people watch this without being aware of the golden rule, they're not really sure what the issue is, but now they know what's distracting you from the message. You all got it, the ums and the ahs. That was the one that stood out the most in the chat. Now, here's the thing. I taught Stuart the golden rule, and I said, Stuart, come have a watch of this video. I want you to apply the golden rule to yourself so you can get good at this, not just knowledge acquisition, knowledge application. And he watched it. He was horrified. So interesting. Because I thought, why are you shocked, Stuart? And Stuart goes, Vin, what? Wait. Whoa, what the heck? Whoa, what? Vin, I'm saying and ah every single 3 seconds. Vin, I didn't even know I did this. What the frick? You know what's really interesting? Is when you've been repeating a behavior for the last 20 years of your life, when you've been repeating a behavior for the last 5 to 10 years of your life, do you know what happens? That behavior becomes invisible to you. Completely invisible. Stuart had all of these non-functional behaviors, but they were invisible to him. So then, in that moment, I said to Stuart, Stuart, if you apply the golden rule, what would you do? And he goes, oh gosh, I'll reduce the ums and ahs and the fillers. And I also hate that I'm holding that book. What the hell am I doing? I got him to go again in 5 minutes. Check out the result of him just applying the golden rule within 5 minutes. Have a look at this. Okay, you got this.
Sit at the edge of the table, notes next to him, and he posed the question to the class, why was it important that the framers of the Declaration of Independence, why was it important for them to address the Declaration to the king and not to Parliament? So I looked around the class, crickets, seniors and juniors looking up to the heavens above, trying to divine what the answer might be, and timidly raised my hand and said, because it was a revocation of everything it was to be British. He paused for a moment, looked at me, and said, exactly.
Boom, big round of applause. Oh, big round of applause. Wasn't that amazing? And look, I'm going to be quite honest with you. Once he did that, I was standing to the side as a teacher going, look at me, I'm an amazing teacher. He's going to come and shower me with praise. So I couldn't wait for him to come along and shower me with praise. And then as I saw him walk towards me, I could see that his face looked really angry. I was like, oh no, this is not a shower of praise. This is a shower of anger. Why are you so attached to your ums and your ahs? What's going on? And then when he walked towards me, do you know what he said? He goes, oh my God, Vin, I'm so upset with myself. I'm so frustrated. I'm like, Stuart, why? Why are you frustrated? You did amazing. The class gave you a massive applause. Why? And he said, Vin, I just realized in the last 5 minutes that for the last 6 damn years, my manager's been holding me back in my career, not giving me the promotion that I felt like I deserved, because he said, Stuart, when you speak, you don't have clarity. Stuart, when you speak, you lack authority. Stuart, I feel that you lack that leadership quality when you're communicating. It doesn't have much credibility. Vin, I just realized that I've been held back 6 years because of these stupid ums and ahs. You know, I've been teaching communication a while, and sometimes I forget that these smallest changes in your behaviors can completely transform your life. Did you see the way you all reacted to Stuart? How you were like, wow, that's amazing. That's how people also react to you as you change these simple behaviors when it comes to your communication. There are so many non-functional behaviors that are potentially stopping you from showing people your best self. And my question I said to Stuart at the time, I said, hey Stuart, let's not be sad anymore. Let's look at the truth, let's acknowledge the past, and let's no longer allow it to claim the next 10 years of our lives. Let's no longer allow these stupid ums and ahs to claim the next 20 years of our lives. And even worse, Stuart, some people go right to the end of their lives and they let these non-functional behaviors completely rob them of all their potential. So I've got a question for all of you right now. And the question I have for you right now is, do you want to know what non-functional behaviors are holding you back? Do you want to know what they are? Thank you for leaning in. Thank you for leaning in. And if you do, well, I got you. This is why I created the Self-Awareness Assessment Guide. The Self-Awareness Assessment Guide is a 5-step process to help you discover what your non-functional behaviors are so you can stop them from holding you back in your life. That's why I created that. So I got your back. I'm going to show up for you, especially if you're going to show up yourself. Now, I want to go into another module with you all. And the module I want to go into with you all is confidence. Okay? Confidence, because this is the key thing that people want to learn. Everybody wants to learn more about confidence, but they don't understand this one unlock about confidence. And when you can understand this one unlock about confidence, it will change everything for you. This is going to change everything for you when it comes to how you think about self-confidence. Because most people say, oh, if you want to be more self-confident, oh, just go up to random strangers and talk to them, right? Go read 3 books on self-confidence. Go jump out of a plane. No. These things give you momentary motivation. Nothing will change your self-confidence like what I'm about to explain to you. And to explain this to you, we've got to go back to when I was about 12 years old. When I was about 12 years old, I had one friend, one brilliant friend. Yes, singular. Yes, singular. I had one friend, his name was Kevin. And Kevin and I were going to camp, and it was high school camp, right? Freshman camp. And no one obviously wanted to share a cabin with Kevin and I because, we were full-blown losers, textbook losers, really. And who cares? Bigger cabin to ourselves. And then Kevin and I bonded over the fact that no one liked us and that we were rather lonely. And then I even remember us shaking hands going, we are going to never talk to girls. We will never have a girlfriend. And we just bonded over the fact that we'd most likely die alone one day. And a complex relationship. Anyway, so we're in the cabin on the first night. And we're setting up our cabin, putting all of our little Pokemon figurines up. And then I went out to the toilet. And then I came back to the cabin. And Kevin was gone. I panicked, anxiety. I started going, okay, where's my only friend? Did he go? He wasn't in the toilet because I was just in the toilet. So I started to panic and I walked all around the camp looking for him. And I looked everywhere. It took me about 15 minutes, felt like a lifetime. And I went all over the camp and then finally I walked up to the fire. And when I looked up, what I saw next, I've never felt more deeply betrayed in my life than this moment in my life. When I looked up, I saw, get this, the nerve of this guy. I saw Kevin playing his ukulele, talking to girls. Oh yeah, not singular, plural, right? He was talking to girls and I was there going, no, we promised we'd never do this. They have germs. This is not right, Kevin. And I made sure he saw me and I went, and I stormed back like a dramatic movie scene. I stormed back, I was like, I've lost my only friend. And then Kevin, being the beautiful friend he was, he threw his ukulele down dramatic style, ran after me, no, come back, I'm sorry. And I slammed the door shut and I said, it's too late. It's too late. You've broken the blood pact. You've ruined this friendship. And I was so angry, and I didn't even know when I fell asleep, but I fell asleep. Next morning, I wake up. And when I woke up in the morning, I'd almost forgotten what happened, but I turned around and I looked and I saw an empty bed. And the moment I saw an empty bed, again, filled with rage and anger, because I thought, yeah, that's it. He's probably got kids by now, probably got married. And I just felt so sad because I'd lost my only friend. And as I was kind of head down, walking out to the breakfast area for camp, and then when I looked up again, this next thing that I saw confused the hell out of me, and it confused me for a better part of 10 years. I saw Kevin sitting by himself at the lunch table, alone. And I was like, what the frick? Last night you were the most confident person. This morning what? This situation, you have no idea how much it confused me. But at the time I was like, yes, my friend's back. Okay, both losers forever. But there's a very important lesson that I didn't learn until 10 years later. And the lesson that I learned when it came to self-confidence was there's something in the world of confidence, there's something in the world of self-confidence known as contextual confidence. Contextual confidence. Very important you understand this. And contextual confidence, what it means is, in the context when Kevin was playing his ukulele, in that context, he was more confident. Why? Because he's really good with the ukulele. He's really good with that instrument. So in that context, and only in that context, was he confident. But then when he left the ukulele inside the cabin, and he was in the morning by himself without the instrument, he lost all of that confidence. The same thing happened to me. And then I realized in my early 20s, when I've got my packet of cards, because again, I'm part magician, I could walk up to the prettiest girl and talk to her. But I remember one day in university, I changed a new bag. I forgot to bring my playing cards. Crippling social anxiety. Couldn't talk to anyone, just didn't attend any classes, just went back home. And I was like, what the frick is happening? It's because I was contextually confident. Now here's where the lesson connects. Here's where when you truly can understand the lesson I'm about to share, it will change everything for you. Think about this. If you start working on your voice, answer me in the chat. Is it possible for you to leave your voice at home? No. No, you can't. If you learn how to use your body language and you master this skill set, you master this instrument, is it possible for you to leave your ability to use your body language at home? If you storytell and you learn how to storytell to captivate other people, to build deeper relationships, is it possible to leave your ability to storytell at home? Is it possible to leave your ability to actively listen at home? Is it possible to leave your ability to use your facial expressions, become more vocally dynamic? Can you leave any of these things at home? And the answer is simply no. You cannot. You absolutely cannot leave these qualities at home. So what does that ultimately mean for your level of confidence? As you master this instrument, as you master your ability to communicate, you become contextually confident in every single area of your life. Yet, no. Most people are more obsessed about, no, I'll just go jump out of a plane because that will build my confidence. That's momentary motivation. And it fools you into thinking you're more confident, but then you'll just go back into the exact same behaviors. Nothing changes with your self-confidence. If you truly and you really want to be more confident, then work on the instrument that you can never leave at home. Work on the instrument that no matter where you go in your life, into the next job interview, contextually confident, check. Into the next date you're going on, contextually confident, check, because you've got all of the skills with you. It's one of the most important things that people don't realize, but now you do. It will forever change the way you think about communication skills. It's more than just how I talk. It's directly linked to you elevating your level of communication skills. You see, if you're still here, I know that this is something you really want to work on. I know this is something that has been causing you to cost a lot in your life. And as you look forward into the future now, just for a moment, okay, I just want you to look forward to this future, the future version of you. Imagine a future version of you where you could walk into any situation in your life and you are contextually confident now. When you sit down in the next job interview, no longer are you sweating bullets, but rather you feel confident in your ability technically, and now you're able to match that technical ability with your ability to form deep connections with people almost instantly. And you walk out of that interview and you almost, you look in the weight room, you're like, I got this. You feel that sense of confidence. The next time you go on a date, the next time you go into a gathering and you're at a networking function, you can walk up to any group and confidently be able to connect with people, as opposed to what I used to do and just kind of hold a drink and hide in a corner somewhere. That future version of you is possible and more. You better create deeper relationships with the people that you love. That future is possible, but it requires the present version of you to do something. Now, let me tell you what happens to all of us. I don't know about you, but for me, do you know how my communication journey looks like when I started it? This is. Tell me if you can relate in the chat. I'd love to know. Tell me. When I first started my communication skills, something would prompt me to improve my communication skills. Like, missed out on a job at a job interview, go on a bad date, have a tough conversation, and then everyone just got really angry. And I'm like, I need to work on my communication skills. And then this is what you do. This is what I did anyway. So the first thing you do is you go, I got to improve my communication skills. So, okay, let's go to Google. Let's type in how to improve your communication skills. Then you get back 6.7 million results and you go, okay, that's a little bit overwhelming. Hopefully I can go to YouTube. Someone has already spent the time going through those 6.7 million articles and has summarized it in a 3-minute video. Yes, there's people that have summarized it. Fantastic. So then you start to watch those videos and you kind of go, okay, I'm a little bit confused. I'm not sure what's going on. Cool video from Vinh, cool video. Okay, so wait, where do I start though? What do I actually do? Overwhelmed, and then after that, what happens? You go, I'm not gonna do anything, too hard, and then you turn on Game of Thrones for the 3rd time, and you go, I better watch that again because it's a really good series. I wanna see some of the things I've missed from the first pass. 3 months go by, and you completely forget about improving your communication skills. And again, you're still going through the Game of Thrones series because it's bloody engaging. And then something happens again at work, you do a performance review and your manager's like, Vin, I need you to work on your ability to connect with your team members. You're like, that's right, I need to work on my communication skills. So then again, 3 months later, you go, okay, well, I know how to do this. I know how to do this. I'm gonna go to Google. And then you go to Google and you're like, I'm not an idiot. 6.7 million, now there's 9 million results. No, I'm not gonna do this. I'm gonna go to YouTube because I'm not stupid. I'm gonna find someone who's already summarized this. And then you go, wait, okay, some of these videos look familiar. Have I watched them before? I'm not sure if I have. Click into it and you go, I've seen this one before. I've actually seen this. Damn it, I'm watching the same one. And then after that you go, yeah, feeling a little overwhelmed and you know what, stuff it, who cares? So you don't end up applying anything. And then this time, you smarten up and you sit down and you go, let's watch Lord of the Rings. Yes, Frodo. Oh, such a good series. This keeps going. Year on year. One of the main reasons we saw some people, and thank you again for your vulnerability, one of the main reasons we see people write down 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, it's because of that. It's because of that. There's no direct path, there's no step-by-step process. And we just leave it to chance, and then as a result, our lack of communication skills ends up costing us more than we ever think, month after month, year after year. And for some, nothing ever changes. And then you feel stuck. You see, here's the thing. I'm going to address something right here, the elephant in the room. Many people ask me, they say, Vin, why do you run these sessions for free? What's the catch? Hey, why do you run these for free? Well, to be honest with you, there's no catch. The reason why I run these sessions for free is because out there in the world, there are thousands of communication skills teachers. There are thousands of them. And the question you must ask is, well, how do you know if I'm the right teacher for you if you've never sat in a class with me? If you've never actually sat in a class with me and tried what it's like learning with me, how are you going to know that I'm the right teacher for you? And for some of you, I might not be the right teacher for you, and that's okay. The only way you can discover it is if you sat for the last hour and a half and learned from me. But for many of you, if you do decide that I am the right teacher for you, with your permission, I'd love to share with you my stage programs. I want to share with you what I actually teach in stage. And thank you for those of you who are giving me that opportunity to share with you what I've created. I've spent the last over 10 years, over a decade, learning this particular skill, becoming one of the best keynote speakers in the world, so I practice everything I'm about to teach. We live in a very scary world now where there are a lot of people who teach things that don't do the very thing they teach. Whereas I hope now that you've experienced learning with me, you know that the proof is in the pudding, right? If you're still here and I've engaged you, then hopefully you know the proof is in the pudding, right? And I still have to debate myself and say, you're not a fraud, Vin, you're not. And I'm like you, I still suffer from these things. So if you're still here and you think that I am the right teacher for you, I'm so excited to share with you my stage programs. I don't even talk about this on social media because I just don't like to be overly salesy and gross. But I want to share with you for those of you who the time is right and you no longer want communication skills that cost you any more of your potential, then I'd love to share with you about my stage programs. I've got 3 stage programs, okay? The first stage program that I have, this is an online course and it's called the Stage Academy. So I'll show you on screen. It's called the Stage Academy. This is an online course and you can learn from this course anywhere. There's over 120 videos and there's over 12 hours plus of content in this online course. There are 8 modules at the moment because we update this all the time. And just like I wrote, we updated the online course 4 times in 2023. We've already updated it once in 2024. And I'm about to include a whole workbook for the entire online course that we've been working on for 12 months. And we're about to add that. And all the students who are a part of it, they get that for free, obviously, right? Because I don't charge for updates. Now, also, you get lifetime access to the online course. And the unique thing about my online course is that I record every single in-person class that I do. And the reason I record these is so that I find real student examples of them succeeding, of them failing, of them struggling, and then me coaching them. So you can see exactly with real examples how to succeed with certain behaviors, right? And I record it from multiple different angles because I'm obsessive like that. And I get lots of videographers to come through. And I do this, again, to make the online course not just me standing here talking to you nonstop with slides and then just clicking the next slide and and then the next thing. No, I created this because I wanted to be like a Netflix show. I wanted you to, as you're going through the online course, learning how to communicate, you feel really engaged. And hopefully I've been able to prove it to you with the sample class that you've experienced here. And these are some of the things my students have said about the online course, and I hope you don't mind me sharing this with you. Some of my students, they're so sweet. You've completed the Stage Academy.
Awesome!
Oh my God, I can't begin to explain to you how important this course could be for you.
He just shows everything in a very fun and engaging way.
This has changed my life.
I kind of binged it because Vinh was amazing.
My career is going to absolutely take off because of this.
Easily understandable.
It was amazing, an amazing experience.
And I'm already feeling more confident.
My mind has been blown.
Do it. You'll thank me later.
Fucking do it. Nothing else to it.
I love that one. That's Alex. God, I gotta love Alex. He's so kind to me. But you see the beauty of this. This is an online course you can learn from anywhere. And the Stage Academy is where you go to learn. That's where you go to acquire knowledge. Second part of my stage program. This is different. I created this beast for a very specific reason. So many people do online courses, but then they don't see change. That's because they don't have the second ingredient. I've thought about this. I'm obsessed about it. The second part of my stage program is what we call Stage Virtual. Now, Stage Virtual is where you join me in a Zoom meeting like this with hundreds of other students from all over the world, and you're going to join me for 5 times 2.5 hour live sessions with me, where we teach live, and it's over a week period, and you've got dedicated time there to what? To practice. So if we learn about changing our voice, we will break out into breakout rooms of groups of 3, and then what we're going to do is we're then going to practice those skill sets. And then, same thing, it's an interactive learning experience. It's not just about knowledge acquisition, it's about knowledge application. If you miss a class, don't stress, you'll get the recordings. Remember, here we sharpen the axe. I've got classes all throughout 2024, so you don't have to stress. These are live sessions at all different times of the year. And here are some of the students sharing a couple of their thoughts about the Stage Virtual Masterclass. Check this out.
I signed up for the 5-day live stage virtual masterclass. It was terrifying and thrilling.
What an incredible 5-day journey that was.
Blending magic and communication.
Life-changing.
So engaging.
So informative.
I am just a different person.
And it just shows you what is possible in a virtual environment.
And a lot of us came out laughing on the other side.
It felt like you were sitting in an auditorium with him and he could literally see you.
Everything is just really fun.
It will pay dividends for the rest of your life.
Oh, I love this. I love this. I love that. Thank you so much for letting me share my programs to see if it's right for you. So let me just recap the first 2, right? The first one is the Stage Academy. So have a look at this. The first one is the Stage Academy, which is the online course. Remember, that's for knowledge acquisition. And then the second part of the program is for knowledge application. But then because I've been teaching this now for over a decade, I realized I needed to create a third program. And the third program is what I call Stage Sessions. And Stage Sessions is where you can join a monthly Q&A with me, where I'm going to be able to help you with accountability and inspiration. And you'll get to join this Q&A with all of your classmates. And this is where we can talk about, hey, Vinh, when I'm in this particular situation here, and I'm trying to have this difficult conversation, how do I give feedback? And this is where we start to be able to jam on those topics together as a class. And Stage Sessions, I've got dates throughout the year for 2024. Even if you've missed a couple of the classes, you don't have to stress because you've got the recording to them. In February, for example, we did a full-blown studio tour to show everybody all of the tech behind the scenes because some people wanted to know about the tech that I use, right? So again, imagine being able to spend the rest of this year, the remainder of this year together, and I can help you give you the knowledge, then I can help you with the practicing of the knowledge, then I can also be there to inspire you to get through to the end of the year. And again, what is Stage Sessions for? It's for accountability and inspiration, right? If you know me at all, you know that one of the lessons that I believe in is that you are the direct reflection of the top 5 people you spend time with. And if you want to be a part of my top 5, here's your opportunity. Because normally, you got to understand that to build all the stage programs, I have spent over $500,000 in my own growth and investment. I've learned theatre classes, vocal classes. I've done trainings and workshops and masterminds, and I've done all of this so I can distill all the knowledge and put it inside the stage programs. If you want a step-by-step process that's easy to follow, that can almost guarantee you change in the way you communicate, then that's why I've created the stage programs. Because here's the reality too. When I first started, I know, terrible at drawing. This is version 1.0, okay? And then I believe who I am now, it's version 2.20.0. For me to get here, it looked like this. It was so frustrating. It took me bloody 20 years to get there. It shouldn't have taken me 20 years to improve my communication skills. It should have taken me 12 months. This was the inspiration behind these stage programs. I want to share with you something really special that I just have for the people here right now. I never share this on social media ever. And this is the opportunity I have for you. And if it's right for you, I'm excited to have you. Here we go. So again, you've got the Stage Academy, and I want to just be super transparent. Again, Stage Academy, if you were to join my online course, that's $1,000. And then if you wanted to join Stage Virtual, I mean, it's $1,000 USD for Stage Academy. Then for Virtual, it's $12.99 if you wanted to join me for a week. And then if you wanted to join me for the remainder of the year and go on an accountability calls with the entire cohort, that's worth $4,000. And when I do this for my corporate clients, I can tell you right now that to get knowledge acquisition, knowledge application, and accountability, when I bundle it all together for my corporate clients, it's $6,000 per person that they want to put through this program. But I know you don't have a corporate budget. That's okay. I won't do it for $6,000. I'm just going to offer it for you if you choose to join me. It's your choice for $899 USD. You get all of this. You get the online course with all of the 10 years plus of knowledge distilled. You get to join me for a full week masterclass. You can pick which one works best for you. You can choose one and you can join me for one of them. It's one of the most fun experiences, I promise you. We just finished one last week. And then every month after that, you can come join me. And Dan's just dropped the link in the chat if you do choose to join me. And I want to share something with you. And if you don't mind me, again, being all fancy, is I want to walk you through what it all looks like if you do choose to join me. So if you do choose to join me, I'm just going to share my screen here. This is what it looks like. I love this. This is my life's work so far. So thank you for letting me share this. When you click the link, you go to this page here, as you all can see, and you'll get to see the whole stage curriculum. Something I want you to understand. Listen carefully. I'll walk you through the curriculum in just a moment. So you in a moment learn what you're going to learn. But there are over 8 modules. There are 9 modules here inside all of my programs. And different parts of the modules are in different parts of the academy and different parts of the virtual. And then on the bottom, you can see some student testimonials. I've been very lucky to have incredible students from all over the world. I've been able to impact so many lives, and I'm very grateful for it. Also, I'm on this page because I wanted to show you this. I've got a 30-day money-back guarantee, okay? Because I don't want to take anything from you if you jump into the online course and you consume less than 25% of it, and you go, after going through about 20% of it, I actually don't really like Vin. He's got terrible hairstyle and terrible fashion sense, and I don't like his teaching. That's okay. No hard feelings. It's all right. Just message my team. We'll give you a full refund. But please, it's also there to protect me on the other end, is that if you've consumed less than 25%, we're very transparent. You can have your money back. It's all good. If we're not the right people for each other, let's part ways and find someone else that's better for you. And then here are some frequently asked questions, and I think they're valid. The first one is, well, Vin, what dates are the Stage Virtual Masterclasses? Good point. What you do is you click the Here button, and when you click the Here button, it opens up a new tab. You can basically see all the dates. That takes a while to load on slow Australian internet. You can see all the different dates of when these virtual classes are on. You'll see them in Adelaide time, because that's where I live. And then my team has done a bit of fancy coding, so it works out exactly for you when it's going to be your time, right? And remember, this is just for one session, where the Stage Virtual is 5 consecutive sessions. So if you see this as a 3 p.m. on your Monday, it's the same time Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, okay? Because we're going to spend 5 days together, baby. So some of you are like, I don't want to do that. So that's how you find out what the dates are. Second FAQ. Then what's the difference between Stage Academy and Stage Virtual again? Simple. Stage Virtual is an online interactive class where you join me live, right? You're joining me live online via Zoom with hundreds of other students, and I break you out into smaller breakout rooms for you to practice the skills. If we learn body language, we break out, you practice body language. If we learn storytelling, you break out, you practice storytelling. It's not just about knowledge acquisition, it's about knowledge application. Then what if I miss a day of the Stage Virtual? Don't worry, they're all recorded. But Vin, can you go back to this and talk about the Stage Academy? Yeah, I can. The Stage Academy is different from Stage Virtual because the Stage Academy is just an online course. It's like Netflix. You can log in anywhere, anytime, and watch at your own convenience. You've also got lifetime access to that. And then the next one is, Vin, do I need to finish the Academy online before I join you virtually? No, you don't. You don't have to. Just finish Module 1. Just watch Module 1 and then come along to the virtual masterclass. Don't stress. Last time, because people ask this question a lot, is, wait, how long do I get access to these things? It's lifetime access. And if ever I can't give you lifetime access, I'll give you an option to be able to download the classes. Don't stress. All right. Look, we've got this going now for the next few hours simply because our classes start very, very soon. We've got a class starting up in April next month. So we are keeping this available for a limited amount of time. If you want to join, I'd love you to join me. I'm going to stop this screen share, return to the other screen. Let me just stop screen share. Okay, as I run back, I promise that's not how I run. I run much cooler than that. Why did you make it look so awkward, Vin? Now, here's the thing. Now that you've seen exactly what you're able to get, I just want quickly in the chat too, Dan, if we can, in the chat, I'd love you to let me know if you've joined. If you've joined, drop a fire emoji. I'd love to know if you've joined. If you joined, drop a fire emoji, let me know if you've joined. Cool. I'm seeing a couple here. Oh, this is awesome. Oh, there's a couple of, yes, I can see some fires coming through. Oh, this is amazing. This is so cool. And look, I want to give you a sneak peek inside stage because some of you are thinking, but Vin, Vin, before I made this decision, some of you are, thank you for believing in me. But for many of you, you're thinking, Vin, can you tell me a little more about what you're going to teach in there? Sure, let's go through it, okay? In Module 1 of the stage programs, what I give you is I give you my $100,000 keynote. And the reason I give you access to my $100,000 keynote is, again, I really believe in the world we live in today, it's so important to do the due diligence. The teacher you're about to learn from, do they possess the skill they say they teach, right? And the due diligence you're doing here is, well, sure, Vin's good at this thing, but can he teach? So you're doing all of your due diligence. So I give you that $100,000 keynote so you can make sure the proof is in the pudding. And after you watch that, if you go, I'm better than Vin, that's where you can ask for the refund. All right, if you're better than me, well, then maybe you can teach me and be my mentor. But here's the thing. Then there's Module 2. And I got Module 2 for a very important reason. And Module 2 is the basics. And the basics is where we dive deeper into the universal laws. There are more universal laws here. This is also where I define the difference between visual image and vocal image. Your vocal image is the image people create in their minds the moment you open your mouth and you speak. So we really build the foundations first so they're strong before we build the big skyscraper above that. Okay? So we get through the basics. Module 3. Now, Module 3, I built this module to answer the following question. People say, Vin, how do I improve the way I sound? How do I improve the qualities of my voice? That's why I created Module 3. And Module 3 is vocal mastery. Vocal mastery. That is Module 3. And when I go into Module 3, I share with you the 5 core foundations of vocal mastery. And I learned this from the world of music. And I'm going to show you a quick example here just for a moment, okay? Teaching communication skills for as long as I have now, when I see people talk, I see people who talk like this, and then I see people who talk like this. And I found a beautiful metaphor in the form of video, and I want to share this with you. So there are people who don't realize the access to the incredible instrument that they have, and then they end up playing their instrument like this. Have a look at like this. And it's okay. I used to sound like this too. But then what happens is I see that when my students go through the stage programs, do you know what happens? Then they're able to move through life like this. this so much, and I genuinely see this. I genuinely see this with my students. Those who learn how to truly use their instrument, and when they walk down the path of mastery, and they walk down the path learning the vocal mastery and the foundations, they are now able to open doors of opportunities that, again, if they didn't, and they didn't realize that they had access to one of the most important instruments in the world, you can also take this path, and then down this path, so many doors are closed. There's so much frustration. This is the power of it. And I know I showed you a music example, so you're probably thinking, oh, Dan's pointing to the screen. I have to do this, everyone. I do apologize. I just want to celebrate the people who have joined. So, oh, thank you for the streamers, Dan. We want to celebrate Apple Beeble. We've got Hannah. We've got Horiza. We've got Joseph. We've got Jatalba. We've also got John, Annette, Josh, Claudia. Please drop a fire emoji if you've joined. I just want to celebrate my students who've made the decision to join me, not only for the Stage Academy, not only for the Stage Virtual, but you're joining me for the remainder of this year with the Q&As. I can't wait to be a part of your top 5. You know, once you join this, you can't get rid of me. You know, clearly you know that, right? Well, you know, like you said, you can if you join and you're like, I don't want you in my top 5. That's what the refund's there for. All right, that's vocal mastery. But again, most of you are saying, Vin, you showed us the music. What about someone's voice? I got you. Watch one of my students. This is one of my students before. So you're going to see him before he learnt one of the foundations, and then you'll see him apply after that, in the after, just one foundation. Watch the before and after, and in the chat, just think about this. Tell me if you know what movie this is from. Check this out. There's a before, then you'll see the after. This is just applying one foundation.
The world ain't all sunshine and rainbows. It's a very mean and nasty world. I don't care how tough you are. You'll beat you to your knees and keep you there permanently if you let it. You, me, or nobody is gonna get hit as hard as life. But it ain't about how hard you're hit. It's about how hard you get hit and keep moving forward. How much you can take and keep moving forward. That's how winning is done. Now, if you know what you're worth, then go out and get what you are worth. But you gotta be willing to take the hits and not pointing fingers saying you ain't where you wanna be because of him or her or anybody. Cowards do that, and that ain't you. You're better than that. The world ain't all sunshine and rainbows. It's a very mean place and nasty place. And I don't care how tough you are. It will beat you to your knees and keep you there permanently if you let it. You, me, nobody's gonna get hit as hard as life. But it ain't about how hard you're hit.
Give me some quiet now.
It's about how hard you get hit and keep moving forward. How much you can take and keep moving forward. That's how winning is done. Now, if you know what you're worth, then go out and get what you're worth.
Yeah.
But you got to be willing to take the hits and not pointing fingers saying that you ain't where you want to be because of him or her or not anybody. Cowards do that, and that ain't you. You are better than that.
Oh, wasn't that amazing? Wasn't that amazing? Did you see me in the back kind of guarding? But here's the thing. You see, for most of you who aren't like me and been doing this for more than 15 years, when a lot of my students first come to me, there's a shake in their voice. And they don't realize that the shake in their voice is fixed by just adding a little bit of extra volume. And for the longest time, a lot of my students, they go into job interviews and you know, when they're speaking, they don't realize that just that little bit of shake in your voice completely causes you to lose credibility. And people don't pick you based on, not because you're not credible, just because of one little behavior. And with my particular student there, the moment he injected volume, you all commented. Did you notice that? You all commented, oh my goodness, the confidence, And again, I see students in the same way. Students that walk the path of mastery, committing to improving this behavior, and then people, again, sometimes we choose again to ignore it. When you take the path of mastery, it opens up so many doors of opportunity. And when it comes to communication skills, you are not 100 changes from becoming a better communicator. You've seen my students just change one tiny, teeny little behavior, and it completely changes how they come across. You are not 100 behaviors from becoming a better communicator. You're maybe just 3. And just to celebrate a couple more, oh, wrong camera. Whoops, that's how you know it's live. We've got Lorraine, Relaya, we've got Lisa, Jackson, Sam, John, we've got KXBD. How do you, we've also got Linda, Aaron, we've got Vin. We've got a Vin. Did you join for me, Dan? Well, thank you, Vin. We've got the same name. Must be a brilliant human. We've got Sanja, Suti, we've got John, Michael, Jason, Danny. We've got Big Hair, Paola. I love that Big Hair Paola. And we've got Leo. You know, I know sometimes it's scary to take the first step. This is why I always want to celebrate my students who are taking that first step. This is one of the most scary skills to develop. So I just want to say congratulations. I'm proud of you. Well done on taking action in the present so you can give that future version of you a chance. I'm proud of you. Thank you for joining. Okay, now with Module 4, as we go further into the course, Module 4 is to help answer the question where people say, Vin, how do I become more dynamic? You know, Vin, there are some people who communicate and they're so passionate and they're so dynamic and they're so enthusiastic. How do I harness a little bit of that? Hey, well, that's what Module 4 is for, baby. Module 4 is what we call vocal archetypes. Vocal archetypes. These are the different characters that exist within you. And when people don't learn the art of vocal archetypes, then it causes them to sound the same all the time through their lives. It's such a fascinating area of study. And we deep dive into vocal archetypes. This is a very interesting area of study. Most people have never heard of this before. And again, it's because in the society we live in, we're obsessed with visual image. We're obsessed with the next watch, the next car, hairstyle, frames, clothes, right? And we don't think about the other 50% of the puzzle, which is your vocal image. This is why I spend 2 full modules on voice to really help you harness your ability to shape how others perceive you. So you can show people how brilliant you truly are. All right, Module 5. And as we get into Module 5 is here to answer the question, Vin, how do I level up my influence? How do I get better at influence? I mean, my goodness sake, I can't even pick where we go for dinner. How can I improve my influence at home and at work, and even in my industry, and dare I say it, even in the world? That's what Module 5 is for. This is, I believe this is the most powerful module that I teach. Storytelling. Storytelling. And you have to understand that when I said to you, I've spent an immense amount of time and financial resources in learning these abilities, I truly have, and I'll prove it to you. You see, I lived in the US for about 5 years, and while I was living in Southern California, I wanted to learn storytelling from the best in the world. I didn't want to just learn it from other speakers. I wanted to learn it from different industries to really sharpen my ability to storytell. And I really wanted to learn from Brian, and some of you don't know who Brian Grazer is. He's a producer in Hollywood, and you may know some of the movies he's produced. And I really wanted to learn how do people in the world of Hollywood storytell? How do they do this? I want to learn from the best before I teach. And I'd love to share with you a clip of me and Brian. And I want you to watch how amazing of a storyteller he is. And if you notice me storytelling and you think I'm good, I've learned it from incredible people. Have a look at this quick clip. I think it's quite fun. But check out how good he is at storytelling. And these are the people I've been able to learn from and study and dissect. Check this out.
O2.
Look, let's have a little bit of fun. I just want to rapid fire some questions at you. You've done amazing.
Okay.
First question, Brian, your biggest movie failure?
Okay, on Apollo 13, we're going to the Oscars.
Yes.
And everyone says, you're going to win the Oscar. You're going to win, you're going to win, you're going to win. I'm thinking we're going to win. I'm sitting at the aisle right here, 5 rows from Sidney Poitier, who's got the envelope in his hand.
Oh.
Literally. Right next to me is Ron Howard, then Jim Lovell, then Tom Hanks. And what happens is, I'm thinking we're going to win because everybody told us we're going to win. I got my speech right there.
Oh, no.
And as Sidney Poitier opens the envelope, I see him pull it out, and he's got a bee rolling off his lip, almost imperceptible. So when I see the bee, I get up.
Oh no!
To win the Oscar.
Oh, that's so bad.
And as I approach, they say Braveheart.
Oh.
And so I just about crawl back to my seat. I'm so embarrassed. I mean, I was so embarrassed. I was so embarrassed that I actually, everything is going in slow motion, I see one of my friends that ran a different studio, puts a big L like loser on his, he did that on his, he literally did.
That's someone you unfriend from Facebook for sure.
So then, that was not good. So then I sit down, I'm so embarrassed because the camera was on me the entire time.
Oh.
And I got the L in my mind, everything's going down, it's bad. I look over, Jim Lovell grabs my wrist like this and he goes, I never made it to the moon either.
Oh.
And I thought, I put it in perspective. So that was a huge bummer.
Wow, that's that is.
Yeah, that's better than talking about the flops, man.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, you should have just pretended you were going to the toilet. You just like, no, I'm just going to the toilet. What the hell? You just, oh, Brian.
I should have known you.
Well,
I would have had the idea.
We could have totally segued.
I know.
And you could have just went, no, the bathroom. Yeah.
All right, I'll go faster on the next one. Okay.
I love that one though. That's,
all right, okay.
That's a massive failure for sure. No, I feel like it. Probably should have said that. Probably should have said that. But you see, again, I just want you to know that I'm obsessive with this. I didn't just kind of read a couple of books and try to learn storytelling. I've genuinely gone to the end of the earth to try to learn storytelling from the best. And as a result of that, I've been able to distill the information, put it in this module. And let me scare you now. I'm going to scare you now. Yes, I'm going to scare you. You see, this is how powerful storytelling is. I'm going to ask you all a quick question. And feel free to type yes or no. It's up to you. And here's my question to you. How many of you feel connected to me? Type yes or no. How many of you feel a connection with me? Look in the chat. Thank you so much for saying this. It's so nice of you. Every time I say this, I get a little bit scared. And look, let's acknowledge it too. Most people are saying yes, and there's a few no's in there. And that's okay, because I'm not made for everybody. I'm not made for everybody. I'm not the right teacher for everybody, and I understand that, and that's okay. But look how many people are saying yes. Do you know why you feel connected to me? It's because I've been storytelling. It's the biggest secret to connection that people don't realize. And do you know why you feel connected to me even more on a scientific level? Because the more I storytell to you, the more space I take up in your memory. You don't realize this, but I've been storytelling to you a lot. And this is going to scare you. This is the part that's going to scare you, okay? You ready? You ready for the scared part? I'm going to ask you questions about a story I told you over an hour and a half ago, and you're going to remember all the details. Are you ready for the questions? Look at the chat. This is going to freak you out. Okay, so when I was in university, how many months did I have left before I quit university? How many months? Look in the chat. Every single person remembered this. I said this once. The more space I take up in your memory, the more closely connected to me you feel. Next question. I was in the lounge room talking to my parents. Which room of the house did my parents go into? Which room of the house? Look how many people got this correct. I said that once. I said that once. And another question for you, and another one that I said just once, okay? People normally forget people's names they just told them 2 minutes ago. Let me ask you this, another question. My dad said to me, in this life you have to jump as high as you can. I'll forever be your what? I'll forever. You look into the chat yourself. I know it's a bit distracting, but just look into the chat yourself. Thousands of people got this correct. Thousands of people got this correct. When you learn how to storytell, you take up space in people's minds, and here's the most beautiful part. When you start to take up more space in people's memories, people start to feel a deeper sense of connection with you. And then do you know what that means after? You have more influence and you have more impact. That's the power of storytelling. That's the power of human connection. And Dan's waving along. Okay, just quickly as well. Oh, wrong camera all the time. We've got Innovaprint, obviously a business. Congratulations. We've got Jeannie. We've got Nalabaj. We've also got Yuhuan. We've got Chengams. We've got Lian. Hello, Lian C. We've got Santosh. We've got BM Rocks. We've got Damabia. We've got Longhun. I recognize a Vietnamese name. We've got Malbor. We've got Rom Sotelo. We've got Bindu. We've got Josh, Ashley, cbd.au. Love it. And we've also got Timothy. And hey, if you've joined and I didn't call out your name, please leave a fire emoji. Please leave a fire emoji. I'd love to be able to see it. I know Dan sometimes pauses the chat so you can join. But leave a fire emoji at any time if you join. I'd love to know. Yes, look at all the, oh, this is amazing. Oh, my future students. Oh, I cannot wait. I cannot wait to meet you all. I'm so excited. Thank you for dropping a fire. Some of you are dropping multiple fires. Very exciting. And again, look, if you've already joined, that's fantastic. I want to walk you through all the modules so you know what's coming. It's like a trailer. It's like a trailer to a movie. All right. Now, Module 6. When it comes to Module 6 answers this question. Vin, you know, in my career, I don't have a lot of presence, you know. I've been hearing this word they say in the corporate world, Vin, a lot, where people say executive presence. Vin, when I walk into a space, I don't feel like I can command the space. That's what Module 6 is for. More authority, more credibility by learning about body language. Body language. And we deep dive into the 5 different areas of body language. And body language is so critical because you don't even realize this when you don't study it, that your body introduces you before you even open your mouth and you introduce yourself. When you walk into the interview room, depending on how you hold your posture, that's already communicating to the people who are about to interview you. It's already communicating to them who you are. And people don't even think about that. So in body language, we pull it apart, we look at all the different areas of body language, all 5 foundational areas. One of the most important areas is, what do I do with these things? Hand gestures. And if you've, it's a weird thing to say, but if you've enjoyed my hand gestures, it's because I've deep dived into this topic to try to study how to communicate with your hands to be more influential. Otherwise, again, I can be really good with my voice and I can have full-blown vocal mastery, but then all of a sudden, if I don't move my body language, do you notice how all of a sudden all of that impact is slightly lost? And it also seems like I'm a hashtag serial killer. Now, we deep dive into hand gestures to the point where we look at the small little behaviors, right? I'm going to give you a sneak peek of one of the lessons, and I love this lesson. For the longest time being a professional speaker, I didn't get a standing ovation, okay? So, yep, I didn't. And I remember asking my theater coaches, how come I'm not getting a standing ovation? I feel like my talk is really good. And then my theater coaches, oh, it's simple, Vin. You're not doing one small gesture at the end of your talks. Just change one small gesture with your hands and watch the standing O's come. Check this video out. We started recording every single talk that I did, and I just changed one thing about my hands. Watch my hands very closely. Watch very closely. Good luck. Thank you very much indeed. Thank you, my friends. I appreciate you all. Thank you very much. Do you see that? Do you see the hand movement? I'm going to show you the hand movement one more time. Watch this. And just in case you didn't really see, I'm going to show you in slow motion. Slow motion. Oh, did you see this? This is the most fraudulent thing in the world. Do you see what I did? If you didn't, I'll explain. So what I did was, at the end of my talk, I took a bow, and then as I looked up, I locked eyes with the person in the front row. Very specific, person in the front row. So you lock eyes with them, and you just kind of go, and then all of a sudden, the person in the front row goes, oh God, what the hell's happening to me? And then when the first person in the front row stands, the reason you get them to stand is because then after that, every single person behind them goes, oh, that person is standing. They all of a sudden feel the pressure to stand. Then all of a sudden, 7,500 people in the room give you the biggest thunderous applause. Not showing you that just to show off, but rather showing you that to show you again, the smallest behaviors, when done well, can create transformations, can completely change the way the world reacts to you. And sometimes by not doing certain behaviors, the world will completely not react to you. If I was able to use hand gestures to influence a room filled with 7,500 people, imagine what you're able to do in one-to-one conversations. Imagine how much influence you will wield. Imagine how much influence you will have. Module 7. Oh, Dan, yes, thank you. Celebrating my new students. And this is what we do for all of our students. We love to celebrate you. And gosh, I love these streamers that Dan puts on. We got Dovil, we got Tanyi, we got Fee, Sage, Shweta, we got Valence, we got P, Phil, Daryl, Abouter, we've got Shavana, we've got That Be Free, we've got Mithiliza, Sabrina, Silvarik, we've got Talon, we've got Jonathan, we've got DN, Wally, we've got Makini, and Cecile. Hey, so good to have you. I see the hearts coming up. I see the fire emojis coming up. Can I just quickly call out one thing as well? This is the beginning of change. Well done for taking this first step. I remember when I first picked my mentor as a communication coach, this was a decision that changed my life, and I promise you, as you join this, this will be a decision that changes yours. I'm so proud of you for making it. All right, now, Module 7. Module 7 is to answer the question that people have where they say, oh, Vin, what I talk about at work is so boring. You know, I talk about numbers, I talk about facts and figures, it's so boring. How do I make what I talk about more exciting? Well, I got you. That's where we have the module on AMS. And AMS is about analogies, metaphors, and similes. If you don't learn how to use analogies, metaphors, and similes, my goodness, you're missing on a world of engagement, a world of simplicity. Analogies, metaphors, and similes allows you to make the complex simple. It allows you to make the boring engaging. We deep dive into this, study it, and we learn how to create our own analogies, metaphors, and similes too. Super fun module. It's like you got to get ready to put a smock on because we're going to start finger painting and we're going to start the creative process. If you know, you know. Module 8. Module 8, this is specifically designed to answer the question, Vin, again, I want to be able to really deepen the level of connection that I feel with the people I love. I really want to feel more connected to the people that I work with. That's easy. That's module 8, which is active listening. Active listening. And when it comes to active listening, again, just to show you one of our biggest values here at Stage is we believe in learning, we believe in making learning fun. So when we teach you active listening, we do it in a way that's fun, and I'll prove it. And I'll give you a bit of context with a video that I'm about to share with you. The video I'm about to share with you is when we're learning about active listening, we also have to learn about passive listening, how not to listen. And this is one of the video demonstrations inside the Stage virtual masterclass on how not to listen. So have a look at this just to get a bit of a sense of our culture inside Stage. Check. This is how you don't listen. Okay, so this is super fun. Check this out.
So Vin, I'm really thinking about becoming a professional archer and joining the Olympics.
Oh man, there's no way you're going to be able to become a professional archer. How are you going to make a living? How are you going to pay your bills? You're just going to try and then fail miserably and then come back and work for me as a videographer anyway.
Your time. So that's what I'm thinking about, and I'm really excited for it.
You should not become a professional archer. That sounds like a terrible idea, Craig. I love this. I love this. Learning should be fun. Otherwise it's much harder to do. But that's an example of passive listening, right? It's an example of passive listening. And we do this all throughout the course to make things fun, to make it so that you want to keep learning. Because you see, one of the most wonderful qualities that I saw in a teacher of mine when I was young is that she made learning fun. Whereas I had many teachers that made learning so painful and boring and so difficult to get through. It felt like eating medicine. So my teacher, Miss Beecham, when I was younger, she knew how to make the medicine taste good. So I try to bring those qualities through as a teacher in my life now. Okay, now, module number 9. Oh, well, we've got to quickly celebrate. Thank you, Dad. Quickly celebrate Lindsay, Shanker, we've got Thomas, we've got Key, Samayan, we've got Harley, Vichulda, we've got Jake, and we've got Junkbox. Thank you, Junkbox. We've got Riz. Ooh, Riz. Okay, I like that. Must be good at eye contact. We've got Riz. We've got Vanna. We've got Deborah. We've got Ramos. We've got Smanthi. And we've got Q and Heoli. Hey, good on you for taking the first step. When we go through the step-by-step process I've created for you in the Stage programs, it's inevitable you are going to change the way you communicate in 2024. It's inevitable. Yes, inevitable. Module number 9. The module number 9 is when people say things like, oh, Vin, I've got a bit of a shaky voice. Vin, sometimes I forget what I'm going to say. You know, Vin, I really feel like when I go into even a job interview, I know the answer, but the moment they ask me the question, I just forget everything. What the hell is that? Well, we've got a whole module dedicated on how to deal with nerves. You know, this is the main reason why people have missed out on job opportunities more than any other. It's actually not that you're not qualified. It's nothing to do with qualification. This is one of the main reasons people miss out on job opportunities, miss out on dates, miss out on the second date, miss out on... So many opportunities are missed out upon because of people not knowing how to deal with their nerves. And then their nerves take over, which causes the symptom of dry mouth, going blank, getting the shakes, voice starting to shake because you're starting to feel really nervous. And then you go down that spiral of nervousness, and then it causes you to be this. You're this good, but all of a sudden, because you can't control your nerves, your communication skills drop down to here. So we deep dive into nerves and learn how to improve this. Now, the reason why you're seeing more modules as well is because I use my Stage virtual programs to test out new modules. So when you join me live for the classes, I always bring new modules in. And I bring new modules into the Stage virtual because I keep doing them on the virtuals time and time and time again to why? Why am I doing this? So I get better and better and better at teaching it. And once I get it really good, I finalize that chapter and then I put it into the academy. This is the thing about teaching. When you teach something over and over and over again, do you know what happens? You get better at the craft. You understand things at a deeper level. So I normally teach new modules about 10 times. Once I've taught it about 10 times, this is why I have a studio. Then I film it in its most polished form, and then I put it inside the Stage Academy. And we've got a module now that I'm doing in my Stage virtual masterclasses on confidence. And the reason I do it is because this is so highly requested. People often look at me and they say, oh, Vin, you're so confident. I'm like, I wasn't always like this. And then I share videos from me from a long time ago, and they're like, whoa, you were terrible. It's comforting for them, painful for me. But I got a whole module on confidence. And there are so many different skill sets when it comes to confidence. It's not just, again, jumping out of a plane. No, there's so many other things you need to learn. There are some really solid skill sets that you can learn. That's the power of that. I've got a question for you now as we round out our time together. And we're also going to, these are all the different modules, and we're adding new modules all the time. But I want to ask you a question. Let me ask you this. In the chat, please. How much does a phone cost? How much does a mobile phone cost on average? About $1,000, $2,000, $1,500. Okay, I got a bit fancy. I bought the Pro version. It's about $1,500. Let's agree it's $1,500. Just ballpark. Now let me ask you this question: is that the true cost of a phone? Is it the true cost of a phone? No, it's not the true cost of a phone. The true cost of a phone is the thousands of hours you've spent scrolling. The true cost of a phone is the thousands of hours you could have spent learning something new, start a new passion. It's the thousands of hours you could have spent deepening your relationships with other people. The true cost of a phone is not $1,500. The true cost of a phone is hundreds of thousands, millions of dollars. That's the true cost of a phone. Next question I have for you. What's the true cost of you not improving your communication skills? What's the true cost? When you think about it at a surface level, people just go, oh, it's just I don't have a better sounding voice. My speaking is not good. No. The true cost of you not being able to communicate was the thousands of things that people wrote down at the start of our time together. Do you remember when I asked you, how much is the way you speak costing you? How has the lack of communication skills held you back? Do you want to get a glimpse into the true cost of that? The thousands of things that people wrote down, that is the true cost. Not being able to deal with difficult situations when they come up. Not being able to have difficult conversations like asking for a pay rise. Not being able to deeply connect with the people that you love. Not being able to do well in the job interview and show your most confident self to really show the world how brilliant you are. And maybe for you, maybe you're connected with me. Maybe it's you not being able to find love. The true cost of you not being able to communicate, how much is that worth? Is it 1,500? Is it 100,000? Is it 1 million? Is it 100 million? Is it 1 billion? It's not a number. The true cost of you not being able to communicate is not a number. Because the true cost of you not being able to communicate is your potential. This is why I'm here. This is why I choose this work. I consciously choose this work. I did not want to be an accountant because I was not called to be an accountant. I was called to teach this craft. I was called to teach people how to amplify the best parts of who they are, because for the longest time I stayed invisible. And when I started to learn the skill, it changed my life. And what brings me the most fulfillment in my life these days is me being able to do this for others. You've now learned with me. You've now been able to see what I do as a teacher. And if you choose that I am the right teacher for you, I am so excited to be able to begin this journey with you. And you do not have to be alone on this journey. You've got me. And I want to quickly just celebrate a couple more students here. And thank you, Dan, so much for doing this. You know, I do this all the time because of how truly grateful I am for the students that choose to join me. You know, Ken, Ryan, Kathar, we've got Nathaniel, we've got Harriet, we've got Joseph, Brandon, Gordon, Sheldon, we've got Juta, we've got Brenley, we've got Sean, David, Kevin, we've got Rupas, we've got Tatmani. Thank you for joining. Jump to the other camera. You know, I'm deeply humbled that so many people are joining me. We've got our support team here. They're like, oh, man, so many people are joining us. Thank you. Thank you. As exciting as it is, I just want you to know that I'm fully committed to helping you on this journey. I'm fully committed to that future version of you, helping you unlock that. That future version of you is possible. Far too often when we think about our communication skills, people make it seem as if it's permanent. People make it seem as if, oh, no, I'm stuck the way I sound. You're wrong. You're wrong. Nothing is permanent in this world. Nothing is permanent. And as sad and as weird as that is, it's the truth. Even a damn permanent marker isn't permanent. You are not stuck the way you are. You are more capable than you realize. And we're about to unlock it together. Dan is writing down the winners of the 3 people who are winning. So I'm going to switch screens. Now, when I switch screens, you're going to see the names of the 3 people who've just won the online course. So you get the Stage Academy. The Stage Academy is yours, it's worth over about $1,000. So we're going to switch screens now. And please listen. I believe in generosity, love, and kindness. Let's celebrate these people. Let's celebrate the people who've just won the online course. Let's celebrate them. Let's celebrate with them, okay? So yes, congratulations. We've got Tashar, we've got Alex Rose, and we've got Roy Kitkulchi. Congratulations. I'm so happy for you. I'm so glad because you stayed right to the end of the class. As promised, these 3 people have won. My team are going to reach out to you. We'll organize for you. And can I just call out something really beautiful? Can I just call out? It's so beautiful. You know, we live in a world now where sometimes you go on YouTube or TikTok, the comments are all mean and everything. What I love here, look how beautiful this is. Even though people didn't win, people are still celebrating and cheering others on and celebrating other people's. This is so beautiful to see. This is so beautiful. And as well, I said none of you are walking away with nothing. For those of you who've stayed all the way to the end, we're giving all of you the self-awareness assessment guide to help you become more aware of your non-functional behaviors. And I do this for one reason. I know for many of you, financially, you can't join me because of where you are. I understand. I've been there too. I have. My family are refugees from Vietnam. That's why I create content on social media and put out 1 piece of content per day, per platform. That's also why I created the self-awareness assessment, to help you kickstart your journey. And then when you're ready, come join me, because I'll be here and I'll be ready to help you master this skill. So now, Dan, we need to pause chat in a moment, because where do you download the self-awareness link? Okay, so the self-awareness document, if you go to the link that's in the chat right now, on the bottom of that page, we've hosted it on the bottom. So if you scroll to the bottom of that page, you will see a link to be able to download the self-awareness process. And that is only available for people who are here now live. Unfortunately, for those who are not here live, this is only for those of you who are here live. It's just to reward your commitment and to thank you for your time. All right, we're going to jump on and do a bit of Q&A. So we've got about 15 minutes. Dan, I'm going to switch cameras. We're going to do a bit of Q&A, and I'm super excited. So here we go. And I saw a question there already. Let me just jump over here before I answer it. And Dan, could I be a little bit rude and ask you to get me some water? Because I'm completely out of water. Just kind of abusing my powers here in the studio. Thank you. Thank you, Dan. Oh, my son is here. Hold on. Sorry, I just gotta have to let him in. Hey, Xander. Hi, come here. Do you want to say hello to him? Hey, buddy. Oh, hey, buddy. Hello. Do you want to say hi, everybody? Say hi, everybody. Look up here. Just wave up there. Say, well, hi. Say, I'm Xander. I'm Xander. Hey, Daddy's got 15 more minutes, and then I'll come out, okay? Okay, you play with Grandma first? Play with Grandma? Where's Grandma? Okay, I see you soon. You okay? Yeah, I'm okay. Okay, go inside with Grandma. Dad duties, home life. There you go. So I'm going to switch cameras. I'm going to switch over here. Okay, switching over here, seeing you all. All right, let me just kind of get the Q&A up. Hello. Move the mic over. If you're still here, thank you for joining me, and thank you for still being a part of this show. Oh, we got a lot of questions, Dan. A lot of questions. Wow. Thank you, Dan. Dan always makes it seem like I'm a tyrant. The way he hands me water, it's almost like I'm a dictator. No, don't do that, Dan. Because now they're going to call I'm going to get swatted. They're going to call the SWAT and they're going to say, we have a hostage over here. And his life is great. He loves working here. I'm not a tyrant, Michael. Don't say that. All right. Let's get into some of the Q&A. I had someone say, I saw in the chat, it kind of just flew by. I hope you don't mind, I'm going to just get a little casual with you all. But you see, one of the questions was, Vin, if I join, can my husband kind of sit in on the experience? Look, technically, it's for one person. Technically, this is how you help me protect my IP, etc., out of respect. And, you know, I can't stop you from having your husband sit in, but it's going to take away from their experience, because when we break out into the breakout rooms, only one person per computer can participate in the activity. Because, for example, everybody else paid their own ticket. And then when you're in your breakout rooms, everyone generally has about 3 to 5 minutes to practice the skills. So unfortunately, only one person can practice that skill, not everyone. So yeah, that's just the way it is. And thank you for understanding. I do appreciate that. Now, and I think Xander's back. My son's back in the background. Oh gosh. Hey Xander, don't shut down the studio. Don't press the off button, buddy. Oh, it's so funny. Okay, I'm gonna go to the next question. It's so funny. Don't press the off button. All right. The next question is from Jet Li, the top question is, what happens if we want the other person to give us a chance to speak while active listening? Very interesting question. As you watch Dan wrestle my son back there. Hey, you all don't mind. I just want to give my son the attention as he's here with me. I kind of don't want to ignore him. So thank you for being here. Thank you for spending time with me. I'm still coming back, but I'm just going to make sure I give him a little bit of love and bring him inside, okay? So thank you for letting me do this. I'll be right back. I'm just going to mute myself, Dan. Feel free to play a bit of music while I do this, Dan, on the computer. If anyone was doubting it was live, that's hilarious. Okay, I'm back. The question is, what happens if we are actively listening to someone, but we also want a chance to speak? Now, this is to give you a sense, this is what the Q&As will be like with me. This is what stage sessions is going to be like. So for example, right, if you're dealing with a serial talker, people like me, and I feel I'm very equipped to answer this question because I don't shut up. So I know what my kryptonite is. I know what the kryptonite is for people like me. So I'll give you 3 pieces of information here, 3 pieces of advice. Number 1, while the person's talking, give them visual indicators. What I mean is while they're talking, you can go. These are visual indicators to the other person that I have something to say. Now, if they're like, and they're completely blinded by their passion and their enthusiasm and their self-obsession about their own voice, then what you can do is you can pair a visual indicator with an auditory indicator by doing something like this. Or there's, hey, that really lets the other person know you have something to say. All right. And I can tell you now that with the first 2 pieces of advice, that's going to help you with 99.9999999% of people. Okay. But then there are these people that are the 0.0001%ers, and well, let's just call them what they are. Absolute monsters. Absolute. No, it's okay. They're not monsters. But again, maybe they just don't have that situational awareness. Now with those people where you, again, auditory and visual indicators, and they still don't stop, then what you can do is you can now create your own path, and you just have to stick to it. So even as they keep talking, then you just have to go in and you have to say, hey, look, thank you so much, Sarah, for that. Look, Sarah, I know that you're really Sarah, I know you're really Sarah, I understand you're really passionate about this, but what I really want to get across is with this particular part of and you have to make a path in. And it's okay. Look, I just want to say that people who often want to share their ideas, it's not because they're bad people. It's just because they're very passionate and they genuinely believe they're adding value. And you have to have enough confidence. You have to have enough vocal mastery. You have to have strong body language to be able to create your own path. Otherwise, you know what happens? You'll just be ignored. And it's easy to blame other people. It's easy to sit there and go, stuff that person, stuff this person, damn them, damn them. Or you can take responsibility for yourself. And if you want to be heard, you take responsibility of that. Because when we blame other people in life, we give away all of our power. And I find that's what we tend to do. We just kind of blame others and we just give away all of our power. Or we can step into our power by taking responsibility for our own success in our lives. And Dan's written a bunch of names up there as well. And hey, I won't switch angles right now because I know there's a few questions I really want to get to, but I just quickly want to say too, that if you're still here and you've just joined, drop a fire emoji. Let me know in the chat. I'll call out some of your names. I'd love to do this So weird. Yes, there we go. I'm gonna slow chat down. We got Podge, Joseph, Waleed. We got Shabnam. We got Josh. We got Vina, Connor. Hey, Connor. We got Jill, Sylvia. We got someone who wrote fire. I love it. Couldn't find the emoji. This is so cool. Jennifer joined, and oh my goodness, it's kind of unreal. The number of people that. Hey, thank you. You know, it's kind of crazy, right? I know this is going a bit off topic, but you know what? The button's undone. We're not professional anymore. You know, just 12 years ago, I was working in a petrol station and I just dropped out of university. And the hard thing was when I dropped out of university, I was the only one out of my friendship group that had dropped out of university. And you remember how I had 6 months to go and how you all remember? So what that meant was after I dropped out of university for 6 months, 6 months after that, all my friends became full-blown lawyers, doctors, accountants, pharmacists. And for the longest time, I felt like a loser. I felt like a massive loser in my life, not being able to communicate effectively, had nowhere where I was going in my life, felt so lost, had no idea what I was doing. And I don't know why, but just seeing you all do the fire emoji and then just to reflect back on where I was and then where I'm able to be now, I just feel a massive sense of just gratitude. So grateful that you believe in me so much, you know, because it wasn't so long ago I didn't even believe in myself. You know, it's so cool, and I'm so thankful for that. I'm so thankful for that, and I share that moment with you because I want you to know that wherever you are right now, even if your frustration is not with your career, but your frustration is with your communication skills, even if you feel a little bit hopeless with your communication skills, I just wanted to say that we overestimate what we can do in 12 months, but we underestimate what's possible in 12 years. So just know that this thing that you feel, if you are there on the off chance, and if you're already happy, then I'm happy for you, but if you're in a place where you're like, I feel like my communication skills, hey, don't let that overwhelm you. And just know that nothing's permanent. Nothing is. And as philosophical as that is, it's like nothing's permanent. Nothing is. Even the judgments you have about yourself. Even all of the terrible judgments sometimes we make about ourselves. Like, oh, I sound terrible, I'm this and that. Just know that all of those judgments are temporary. Oh, the voice? Oh, okay, hold on. Let me just reset. Okay, give me a sec. Okay, let me just reset. Okay. All right, we are back, and the camera, there you go, we're back. If anyone needs any more evidence that this is live, well, there you go. All right, so I just wanted to send you love, and I just had a weird moment of, just kind of nostalgia. All right, next question for Q&A. Oh gosh, we've got lots of questions here. I want to give some love to the questions that are just being asked as well. So I'm just trying to be fair as I can. Okay, so this question from Goretti. Goretti asks, hey Vin, do you still have problems speaking now when it comes to nerves? I do, absolutely. I was nervous before I jumped onto this live because I knew we were going to have thousands and thousands of people join me from all over the world, right? I knew that there were going to be lots of people. So what I did was I have different techniques that I use to be able to manage my nerves. And one of them is called Wim Hof breathing. So if you don't know what that is, just look up on YouTube, Wim Hof breathing or Wim Hof guided bubble breathing. And you'll find a technique on how to breathe. It's about a 3-minute process to get you through one cycle. And before I did this, I just do a few cycles of Wim Hof breathing and it really calms me down. And I can tell you this as well, is that I still do feel nervous though, even after doing that. But the nerves that I feel, they're not nerves that cripple me and stop me from being able to add value to you. They're nerves that excite me. You know, nerves aren't bad, but if you let nerves overwhelm you, then yeah, it's going to cause you to lose out on many opportunities. But if you learn how to manage the nerves, it's important. And I really hope that while you're watching me teach today, you really got a good sense of the level of passion that I have. A huge part of that passion that you see, it comes from me learning how to manage my nerves. It's like you hear people say this metaphor all the time. It's just you can have your butterflies in your stomach go crazy, or you can have them fly in formation. And I've been able to fly them in formation and use those nerves to really be able to deliver something I hope was exciting, inspiring, and insightful. All right, I'm going to jump on to the next one. And thank you so much for sticking around. It's so cool. Thank you. All right, we've got some questions here. Hey, Vin, is the course good for people who are not, people who don't speak English as their first language? Yes, absolutely. You may have missed it when I said it, but English is my third language. I didn't learn English fluently until I was 8 and didn't really get good at it until I was in my early teens. Again, I first learned a dialect of Chinese called Di Chiu, and then I learned Vietnamese. Then I learned English. So you got to understand that, and this is why it's such a calling for me. You have to understand, for the longest time in my life, I struggled with this. And feels slightly nauseating saying this, but I truly hope that I'm an example to show people that it's possible. You don't have to be born with this. It's a set of learnable skills. And here's the biggest misunderstanding that people have too, and I hope this is a learning point for you. So many people think, oh, I don't want to be that all the time. Well, you don't have to be that all the time. You don't. It's like gears in a car. You can switch in and out of it, right? I'm not all like bouncy and you know, like hopefully you got a different sense of me while we're sitting here. It's because I've been able to work on this skill to work out the different gears. And depending on the context, depending on the situation, I shift gears. And a lot of the times, the problem is people don't develop these skills. They just wait for the job interview. They just wait for the performance review. They just wait for these moments to happen. And then what do you fall back on? Well, you haven't practiced, you haven't prepared, so you fall back on nothing. And then the nerves take over, and then you don't give a good performance, or you don't communicate effectively. You know, the definition of luck. If you think about the definition of luck, what is the definition of luck? Well, luck is when preparation meets opportunity. So if you prepare and work on your communication skills now, there's going to come a time in your life, and it may not be work related. I know I'm using a lot of work examples. That's where people tend to focus. But there's going to be a time in your life where someone goes, hey, I'm getting married, and I want you to be my best man. I want you to be my maid of honor. Can you do a speech for me? If you've prepared your communication skills, now on your friend's best day of their life, you can do something they'll never forget. Right? Or the next time you're at work and your boss says, hey, I'm going to be 10 minutes late to this meeting. I'm not going to be able to get there to open the presentation. Can you open the presentation for me, Sarah? And because you've prepared your communication skills, instead of being scared of that, you go, sure, I got this. You walk in, you do the presentation. Guess where promotions come from? Promotions come from opportunities like that. When these opportunities pop up and you step in and you rise to the occasion, that's when people go, damn, didn't know Sarah was so capable. Wow. That's when life changes. That's when life changes. But remember, that future you that you're moving towards, that future you does not exist if the present version of you doesn't take action. And do you remember that cycle that I told you about? It's the, oh, I'm just going to go to Google, I'm going to go to YouTube. Everybody does this. How do I know? And I know a lot of people are like, I feel so called out right now. It's okay, because I was calling myself bloody out too. That's what I did for years. That's what I did. Right? And people just do the same thing with different technology now. Now people just go to ChatGPT and they go, oh, how do I do? And then they just get overwhelmed. And then nothing changes. Nothing. Just the same all the time. So if you want to get out of that trap, we've got to do something different. Because do you remember what Einstein said? If we do the same thing and expect a different result, that is the definition of insanity. And I think one of the reasons why people are more frustrated than ever in life is because they keep doing the same thing and they're expecting a different result. I think a lot of people are falling victim to that right now. So, okay, next. Hey Vin, there are also virtual masterclasses that are outside of business hours, Sydney time. Sonia, at the moment, because a lot of my classes, a lot of my students do come from the US, almost 85% of my students are from the US. I'm not neglecting my European, my Asian, and my Australian kind of audience. It's only because I'm trying to serve the majority of my students and do the best I can. We do have some times that are outside of work hours. If you do check, we're also, and listen, when you join the Stage Bundle, you get one ticket, you get one open ticket to any Stage Virtual you want in the future. So unfortunately, if you can't find one that fits, we're doing our best to add one more to this year, and then we'll be adding some next year as well. So that open ticket to you, you have 12 months to be able to use it, so don't stress. Next question here. Oh, I love this question. Oh, from Muhammad. Muhammad says, hey, what does it feel like to be a father? Meaning and purpose. It's so cool. You know, it's so cool to have another little human being that needs you, that depends on you. It's so cool to have that. And I love that about my life. You know, I love that I have someone who's waiting for me, who can't wait to hang out with me, who thinks I'm super cool, you know, and he's already in there. He's like, oh, where's Dad? I'm like, oh, you know, I've got about 5 minutes before I have to go. But it's just, again, that feeling needed, feeling loved, feeling wanted. It's really special. And you know, to relate it back to communication too, you know, for the longest time, you know, do you know why I call my program stage? I call my program stage because, not Einstein, sorry, Shakespeare's got this beautiful quote where he basically explains that all of life is a stage. And what that meant to me is that, you know, when I wake up in the morning, I step onto the stage as a father. And depending on how I use my instrument, and depending on how I use my body language, and depending on how I storytell and engage with my son, I can either set him up to have a great day, or I can also set him up to have a day that is lethargic and doesn't feel good. And I can give you a demonstration of that, right? So if in the morning, if I see my son and I'm going like, hey Xander, good morning, make sure you get your clothes ready, just make sure you get some, just make sure you, like Xander, like, I could do that, or I can say, hey, morning, good morning, how did you sleep? How was your sleep last night? You kicked me like crazy, but how did you sleep? And I know that when I step onto the stage as a father, all of a sudden, I can give him the good vibes. And then after that, I see my wife, I'm stepping on stage as a husband. When I step into the studio, I'm stepping on stage as a leader. When I'm stepping in front of these cameras, I'm stepping on stage as a teacher. So when you improve your communication skills, it improves every single stage of life that you step into and you step onto. That's why I call my program stage. So it helps us become the best version of us. And there's another question here that I saw that really moved me. And Amal says, Vin, why do you teach this? I feel that people don't realize the power of their own voice. I think we live in a world now where people have long forgotten the power of this voice. And you just need to take a look at our world state right now. There are lots of people in the world doing evil things, and they're using their voice to spread hate. They're using their voice to spread evil. And when you look back at a history of our human race, there have been amazing things that have happened. Things that are done out of love, kindness, and compassion, and it was based around usually a single person using their voice for good. And then when you look at all the terrible things that are happening in the world, you kind of see, yeah, there's kind of based around one person using their voice for evil. When I teach my students, and if you've joined me, then there's something you must know. If you've joined me, I don't see you as students. I have a different word for you. If you've joined me, you are a luminary. You are becoming a luminary. And the word luminary has a double meaning. Because my program is called Stage, the word luminary means actor or actress on stage, but luminary has a double meaning. Luminary also means light, a source of light, a source of good. And when you come and learn with me, you become a luminary that is going to use their instrument to spread more love, to spread more kindness, and to spread more compassion in this world. I've been reading books on physics and mathematics, and I've been getting into Richard Feynman, and Richard Feynman's been amazing. I've been loving expanding my mind here, you know, and do you know what I've connected the dots on? This is the world of physics, the world of science, connected to the world of communication. This is kind of my little philosophy I've created in my own head, and I'd love to share it with you as our ending piece together. When you speak, what is voice? Voice is a sound. That's what it is. It's a sound. What is sound? Sound is a series of vibrations. So when I open my mouth and I speak, vibrations come out depending on how I direct airflow, shape my mouth, shape my tongue. I can create certain vibrations. And I can use these vibrations to create hate. I can use these vibrations to make people do evil things. Or I can use vibrations to send love. I can use vibrations to send kindness. I can send vibrations to create love, inspiration. I've chosen the vibrations that I was going to send you today, consciously. And I've mastered my instrument so that hopefully if you feel inspired right now, if you feel motivated, you feel nourished, it's because I've learned how to send the right vibes. And when you think about it from a physics point of view, if I'm sending vibrations out there into the world, that means that those vibrations, they actually hit you. Not only do they hit your eardrums, they hit your body. That's why when you sit with a great communicator, they move you. They move you. That's the power. And if us as all luminaries come together, as luminaries, if we send out good vibes, every time we go out in public and we meet somebody and we can see they're having a bad day, even if they're a stranger, you can swing by and say, hey, just want to say good morning, and I just want to say that scarf is absolutely beautiful. Just with the outfit, just by using my instrument like that, I know I can brighten that person's day. And don't doubt that level of impact, going, oh, but Vin, that's never going to change the world. It's physics. It's physics, it will. Because those vibrations will hit that person, and that person now will have vibrations running through them, and then they'll go home and they'll be kinder, maybe they'll be a little more fun with their children, and then they'll send those vibrations, and those vibrations pass on to their children. Once their children feel it, maybe they go to school the next day and they do something different as a result of a vibration you sent out. Don't discount kindness, love, and compassion. That's why I teach it. Thank you for joining me for the masterclass. It's been an absolute delight. It's been an absolute honor. Dan's in the back. Dan, if you want to quickly wave as well, let's all give Dan lots of love in the chat. Let's give Dan lots of love, because here's the thing, I wouldn't be able to do this without Dan. If he wasn't moderating, big love to Joven as well, that's here. Big love to one of my team members, Shani, that's also here. Big love to Eunice and Johan, all of my team members that are here, because look, if these people weren't here, I can't do what I do. I'm only good at a very select number of things, and there are so many things I'm not good at. I'm only able to do this because I have incredible people around me. So a big thank you to my team, and also a big thank you to all my future students. I am excited to help you change your life. I'm excited to help you transform your communication abilities. I won't let you down. Thanks, everyone. Bye. Have a good day. I've got to get to my son. Otherwise, he's going to kick the door down again. Lots of love. All the best. And just kidding. No, don't do it. I'm just kidding. All right, take care, everyone. Bye for now.